Of conversation.
Damn, you got like a room just set up.
Yeah,
perfectly for it.
Room set up for it. I mean, it's small, but still, it's relatively comfortable.
You want this open, or
you can shut it if you want, and you can leave it open if you want. Makes no diff to me. And I typically I don't have any basis of any kind of conversation necessarily that I want to have. I just let it kind of go where it wants to, and we navigate.
All right. Works for me, man.
Find interesting topics. It's not that hard. It may not be interesting to you, but it's interesting to other people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the important thing. And my laptop's busted at the moment, so I fucking just use my phone.
Nothing wrong with that.
And it works. I mean, it has a better camera than the webcam that I was using. So.
Yeah, I mean, it'll fucking work, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, it's a podcast. You just sit and visit.
Hell yeah.
I can't believe how surprised Jacob was that I have a fucking podcast.
I know, he really was too.
He was blown away. Well, especially considering me and him were talking about my business thing that I'm thinking about doing, and he's like, "Oh my god, bro, you blew my mind." And then he's like, "Oh my god, bro, you blew my mind again." It just happens.
Yeah, you have to get him up here.
Yeah. And it is already recording too.
Oh,
so
is it?
Yeah, I just set it record, and then fucking I can edit out whatever the fuck I want to, so.
That makes sense.
Makes it easier.
Yeah.
Which I typically don't edit out much. Even this conversation, I probably will not edit out. It's just entertaining to add, and makes for interesting leeways to add on to the conversation. If you start talking about something you're referring to and you weren't necessarily recording, then it makes it uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. This is sick setup though. Jesus.
Yeah, it's nice. I know. I will add much more fucking Marvel shit and posters and stuff because I'm a kind of a fucking nerd, but
yeah, I mean
I'm a hillbilly nerd, so it makes
it evens out. It's alright.
Yeah. You have cool badass shit right next to cool nerdy shit. It makes sense.
Yeah, I know. That's fucking. Yeah, you definitely. Give some more shit. That fucking hat's pretty dope, man. These hats.
Oh yeah, my Punisher hat and my Captain America hat.
Yeah, dude.
And then this is some sort of thing that I found while I think I found this on the first day that I was working at CT. I believe I'm not super positive, but I believe that it's one of the ball shutoffs in one of those shutoff valves.
I think you're right.
I think it is. I found it in the shop and I asked Dylan. I was like, "Can I take that?" Yeah. I think it's garbage, but I don't care. I want it.
That's pretty nice. Did you clean it up?
Yeah. I want to take it to a buffer or something and polish it up.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what this is. It's just
right that's what it looks like. There's a little fucking thing for it to be jolted around inside of a fucking shutoff valve.
Yeah. Yeah, this is sick in here, man. I need to get myself a room like this.
I know. I hang out in here and drink sometimes.
Yeah, this is nice. It's nice and.
Someday I will have an office that I fucking just make up to be just like this. Not necessarily just like this, but make it up to be whatever the fuck I want it to be. Podcast room.
Yeah, fuck yeah. This is sick, man. But yeah, dude, I feel like I'm a fucking celebrity right now. Fucking podcast.
How was your? I gotta ask. I know you fucking loved it, but how was your first season at CT?
It was amazing. Fucking loved it, man.
Yeah.
I went in there expecting, it's kind of like everyone else. I mean, you expect it just to be another summer job.
Yeah. And that's how I was.
Yeah, you go in there. I was like, I'll just kill a summer, save some money for school, and then, get done with it. And you kind of just, you love everybody. Especially this season with everyone we had. You love everybody there. You fall in love with it because of the people. But then you start loving the work you're doing because you love the people that, it just kind of puts that in your head, that you love the job. And now I associate all that stuff
with all the people we spent time with.
And so I just don't think that'll change in the future, even if I don't have as good a cruise, But yeah, it was amazing. I don't want to ever do anything else with my life. I mean, so, fight fire for the rest of my fucking life. And
in my future, I'm going to try my best to fucking make it kind of the way we had it this season. Everybody needs to be cool with each other. It's really cool when you can see everybody come together, and then you hang out and you spend all your time together. Everybody goes fishing together. Everybody goes and does we'd all pile in all of our rigs and go do things pretty regularly. And that was the coolest fucking thing ever about that. Anyways, it's You don't get that anywhere else. Like, you have to fucking involve people, get other people involved in what you're doing, and make it a group thing, and it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. And it was amazing. It was an amazing experience, dude. Just fucking having everybody, getting to know everybody and meeting new people. I mean, especially me. Like, I remember I was not super social before I went to CT. I just was not social at all. I was just very, kept to myself and, didn't go out of my way to meet people or anything. And so when I first got there, I was like, oh no, like, we'll see how this goes. I mean, I don't like, I'm very awkward around new people, but it was just like, I don't know, it was like, sitting by the fire with you that first night or the first couple nights, it made it so much easier for me just to like, all right, I already know somebody here. I knew Jessica now at that point. And then, when everyone else kind of started shuffling in, it was a lot easier to meet them. And then it was just like, it was like no stress meeting new people, just zero. It was just right off the bat, just, and then like you said, everyone getting included, everyone, hey, I'm running into town. Anyone want to go?
Yeah, anybody want to go? And then it'd be like 4 fucking people pile into the fucking rig, and we're all going to town.
Yeah, or like on the weekends when we all go eat, like, everyone.
Yeah,
would go.
that was like awesome. Like, I've never really had friendships like that where it's like, oh yeah, we're going to dinner. Like, I mean, I've had like my mom will message me like, hey, we're going to dinner. At least when she used to live around here. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll go. But I never had like a group of friends that'd be like, hey, yeah, let's go meet at this place and we're all gonna eat together.
Yeah, it was incredible, man. I mean, there are friendships that, shit, like, I love my friends from back home, and they're forever my friends from home, and I'll always love them. But it was just with you guys, in all reality, I've only known you guys for 3 months now, and shit, I feel closer with you than I feel with a lot of those guys from back home.
Mm-hmm.
I've known them for 19, 18 years. And you guys, it's like I feel more comfortable spending time with you guys, going out to do stuff with you guys, than if I wanting to go back home. Like,
yeah, more comfortable telling each other secrets. Even like, I don't know. There's shit that I would tell you that I wouldn't tell my mother.
Mm-hmm.
There's shit that I would tell you that I wouldn't tell my brother. Not necessarily in a bad way. It's just I wouldn't. It's not something I necessarily want to share how I feel.
Yeah, exactly. And with you guys, it's a lot. It's more just like a family than it is like just a friendship, And
yeah, a band of brothers we have created
exactly
by happenstance.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's definitely just an amazing experience. Just something even like if you don't want to be a firefighter, like just doing something like that where you can build like such a strong bond on the job, but also be able to go off the job and everything's just still the same.
It's still the same vibe, same general fucking cohesiveness.
Exactly.
You're able to have fun together on the job and off the job, and it's the same type of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird how like me and you have both blossomed in a weird way. That like at the beginning of the season you were kind of quiet, laid back, and then slowly you became the funny, goofy jokester, and that's like you just became a very open person, and I did too. Like, I never really was one for like making many new friends at one time, especially, but like, I'd typically be like, oh yeah, I kind of like this person, I think I'll be friends with them, and then slowly over time I'd build a friendship with them. Like, you guys, I feel like I've known you my entire fucking life, and I've only known you guys for like 3 months.
Yeah, it is crazy how, I come back, it's like, I've been gone for, less than a month, but a couple weeks, I've been doing school, stuff like that, been busy, but I came back and it was almost like, we didn't even skip a beat, nothing changed. It was, I came back and right back to the same, same old stuff, we were back and we were talking by the fire, making jokes, and that's what I love about that is, I can come back and everything's the same, nothing's changed. And same thing, yeah, I've told you guys more than I've told just about anybody in my life, and it's just like, fuck, not something you can find anywhere. It's just, it's incredible. It's incredible.
It's deep is what it is.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty rare, man. It's pretty rare that you find that, and I'm happy that I did when I did, It makes me, again, want to come back. It makes me want to keep coming back, come to visit you guys. Like, shit, I'm not one to, I don't like making huge road trips, but shit, I was like, if I had the money, I'd be back next weekend, and the weekend after, and the weekend after. I'd be, every time I got a chance, I'd be back. So
expensive, gas money and whatnot, and like, you can't do it, but you wish you could.
Yeah, I would be too. It's just you know, it's just every opportunity I got. And again, it's not because I don't like being in Montana, it's just the fact that, you know, like I've made good friends there, but it's just, I don't know, it's just I haven't shared the same experiences as they have, you know, and like all of us, we've all been there, and
yeah, we've all fought fire now.
Exactly.
Fire fucking firefighters.
Exactly. Fucking A. I mean, no, it's just badass, and I remember going in just thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be a firefighter, you know, this is what I'm gonna do, and now it's like the least of what I think about when I think about the season. Like I don't even like I'll be like, oh yeah, I was a firefighter, but like when I think about the season, I think about like hanging out with you guys and going out doing that kind of shit. Like I don't know, it's just like very, you know, people are like, oh yeah, I fought wild on fire, you know, and everyone's like, oh, thank you, or like, you know, they'll say shit like that, but it's like that's not even what it's about for me. For me, it's just like I just like hanging out with those guys.
What does IA and the DNA mean, bro? Like,
yeah, like when
I'm sorry, I now have to explain this to you, but
yeah, I know people would always ask me, what is IA? You know, I'm wearing that shirt, and I'm like, oh shit, no, I gotta go into it. You know, I don't like stating out in the open, especially like, you know, I will if people ask me like, oh yeah, like I'm fighting fire, I want to fight fire, you know. But I don't like stating that out in the open just because it's like I don't want people to think that I'm doing it for, you know, attention or, you know, for people to thank me or, you know, a certain reason, but, you know, then I have to explain, and then I'm getting like, you know, oh, thank you for doing that, or oh, you guys are so brave, and it's like, I mean, if you saw us out on the fire, like, we're
you wouldn't think so.
We're doing it, but you'd see us just, you know, you'd be like, all right, like, okay, maybe it's not what, you know, what I thought it would entail, but it's
not that fucking hard of a job.
It's really not. I mean, to convince yourself to do it is the hardest part.
Yeah, that's like, and like, I think literally the pack test at the beginning of the season is like probably one of the most grueling things you'll do, and then every now and again you'll have a fire that's like a decent hike in. Like that's like the majority of the hardest work you're gonna do, and then. Like, don't get me wrong, digging you know, a fire line, it really sucks, digging a hand line around fire, but, like, even if you, like, I did it for 12 fucking hours straight one day, and at the end of the day, I felt nothing but accomplished.
Exactly.
Like, I felt like I did something with my life today.
Yeah, you don't feel tired, you don't feel like you hate your life. Like, yeah, because
I was ready for bed, but...
when we were on that fire in Elk River, I mean, total... How long do you think we were even digging Fireline? We were digging Fireline for what? Probably 16, 17 hours total.
Probably 14 hours, because an hour there and an hour back.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay, I was thinking just like total time. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so the travel time, probably 14 hours, but still 14 hours.
And minus our half-hour lunch or whatever, but still, basically 14 fucking hours of digging a hand line.
Yeah, like, we're just sitting there just dig.
And,
you know, it wasn't easy digging, especially in the beginning.
No, at Mary's Creek is what I think you're talking about?
Yes.
That one fucking sucked.
You know, just all the roots and all the freaking slash everywhere when we get down to when we get down like to the flat parts, and it was just all just slash, and it sucked, but it didn't suck at the same time, because again, you feel accomplished. On top of that, I was, you know, hanging out with you guys, getting to know even getting to know the other crews. Like, yeah, granted, those guys are cool, but I mean, like, letting them see how close we were as a crew was just like,
yeah, every time they'd be like, dude, you guys are way too close with each other, you know, you're way too cool with each other, don't be, you know, like. And seriously, if we as men flirted with women the way that we flirt with each other, we would bag many women.
Exactly.
We wouldn't have a problem with trying to get women.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm so open with you guys, and it's just like, you know, and then like you start, you know, start talking to somebody, or you know, you get a girl, you know, decide she likes you, and then you just
kind of like recluse a little bit, and like, okay, I'm gonna try to be reformed around her, and it's like, if you want it to work out, don't be reformed. Just be your fucking self.
Exactly. And it's just like, you know, you sit there, but then I flirt with you guys, you know, I'm joking with you guys, and then I'm sitting there thinking, like, man, if I talk to this girl like I talk to you guys, maybe, you know, maybe it'd go a little differently, you know, for me, or maybe something would, but yeah, Jesus, I mean, I need to, you know, it's something that it's easier with you guys, but I try to talk to a girl like that, or I try to be open. It's just not. I struggle sometimes. Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't know how to work.
Like, why is it so awkward to, like, if you were to, like, say, you just, like, you're going out on a date, like, the first date that you're going out on with a chick, like, you can't really look at her and be like, you have a nice butt.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you can't.
Yeah.
But like us, like we're just fucking like we're that way with each other all the time. If you could be that cool with a chick that you're like just going out on the first date with, then you'd fucking probably be a lot more likely to have more dates.
Exactly. Or like even like you always say stuff like that. We're like, oh, nice butt, this and that. And then, but like, there's also times when we're like, oh my gosh, you were so beautiful. Like we'll say that to each other.
Yeah, you're so beautiful.
It's like, dude, I don't know why I can't just like say that to a girl.
A girl.
Even though I could, I could. It's something that you could do, and it's like something, in the beginning stages, I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I should. That's pretty forward. But it's like if I did, shit. I mean, be a little.
Oh, a little bump.
But yeah, I was like, if I did, it should be a little easier for me. I know for a fact with you guys as well. Like, that's how that went. We'd be bringing a lot more girls back into camp.
Yeah.
Something. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm so much closer with you guys than. Well, I mean, that's just I'm so much closer.
You guys are my fucking brothers.
Yeah,
it's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll practice that flirting thing. See how it works out for me. Get a couple of drinks in me, and then, send out a Snapchat just saying what I usually say to you guys, and so we'll see
This is how I feel.
We'll see what the response is, and it's like, we'll see if it works, and if it doesn't, I'll just say, you guys don't flirt with girls like we flirt with each other, okay? It did not work out in my favor.
I'm gonna fucking check. It's like what's that fucking thing that they do in like the movies with the fucking marker?
Oh yeah, we gotta do that for the fucking recording. Yeah, hold on, let me make sure
Scene 253, and they click down the little fucking thing. I don't even know what the fuck that is. It's just a fucking thing to make noise so that they know that it's.
You fucking. That's it. That's all it is. I don't know.
That's all I know of it.
Yeah,
I've never done any research on it to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, I've never even fucking looked into it. Now I'm kind of curious. Now I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Got to get one of those for your podcast room. So, hey, hold on one second.
At this point, I need to get myself a Jamie is what I need.
Yeah.
Fucking Joe Rogan experience, bro.
Yeah, you seriously, like, hey, hold on, check this for me.
Hold on, look this up real quick. I think I might be wrong. I think I'm retarded.
Yeah, we got to get this thing taken off so we can hire somebody to be like, sit right here, and then fucking start looking shit up for us. Like, hey, man.
Hey, Google that real quick. Go back to the conversation.
Yeah, just wait for him to get back to us. Fucking A. Yeah, no, this is a lot. This is a lot more chill than I expected it. Like, not gonna lie, like a mic or whatever, and I was like, sitting like in a desk or whatever. But this is nice. I can sit back in that recliner.
No, the microphone's right fucking there.
Drink my beer. Oh shit! Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I don't have to have them like put at each other's faces necessarily. At some point, like I already have that shit. Like I have mics and stuff, and I just need to I want to get some better webcams so I can have it so I have like a webcam for one person and a webcam for another person. And
just swap
at some point I want to have it so I have like a fucking an office-like area, probably twice as big as this maybe, and fucking just have it so I can do whatever the fuck I want in there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could probably make it like in my shop or something someday if I have, when I buy some property and have a fucking house and different house of course, but
yeah,
have a shop and just do it in my shop and have like little stands that come down from my ceiling or whatever and put my webcams on and fucking do the podcast.
Yeah, just swap in between. So, yeah, I mean, this is like still just like it's nice, it's chill. I feel like I don't feel like I'm being like interviewed.
Yeah, you don't have to feel like you're being interviewed either. It's like you just sit and have a fucking conversation.
That's true.
This is like I think my 13th one, 13th or 14th. It's been fucking 4 months since I did one.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was doing them there like once a month. I'd do one, and like I did a couple with my brother. I did a couple with my buddy Isaac, and then like one with my cousin Corey, my brother, or both my brothers, and my buddy Isaac. And we all did it out in my fucking shed. I just had all of us just sitting around bullshit, and it was fucking very chaotic, but it was good. I liked it anyways.
Yeah, I mean those are kind of entertaining. Podcast, it's getting a little, hectic back and forth. Watching that too is like, oh wow, funny shit.
And then like I put them on Spotify too, but like Spotify, like you can only, because I don't have like a Joe Rogan deal or anything, so I just have, you can only get the audio on there. But YouTube, like, I post all these fucking videos to YouTube, and then you have the fucking, if you want to just listen to it, you can go to Spotify. If you want to see it, you go to YouTube. And it's like, after a while, I could get something better, you know, and once you get more than a few thousand viewers, whatever, it's just, eventually you work your way up. That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, shit, when it starts, you know, when it does blow up, you know, you can always bring me back on.
And I just do it, like, currently I just do it for fucking fun. Like, this is something that I enjoy. I enjoy sitting down. It makes an excuse for having someone sit down and visit. You know, you just sit down and talk.
Exactly.
About whatever the fuck you want to.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. I mean, just kind of segueing into each different topic, and then, you know, talking about a bunch of different things and shit. I mean, it's definitely, it's a good way for people, you know, they watch and they get a lot of different perspectives on a lot of different things, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's also like you're not hearing the same thing over and over again. You know, it's just you're listening to a lot of different.
Yeah, and certain conversations can get a little bit repetitive because you're talking to different people about the same shit. You know, it might be like, oh, well, and then you segue into the same conversation. Like, I've had that with Joe Rogan Experience, watching that quite a few times. You listen to him and it's like, oh, damn, this is what he talks about on his podcast every fucking week. Like, he at least has to mention this. But it's like, you know what, that's just, he talks to 3 or 4 different people a fucking week. So at some point throughout the fucking week, he's probably going to have the same conversation with someone else.
Exactly.
And it's not even like a full conversation. It's a matter of like he said the same paragraph that he said the week prior. Which I do that same shit when I'm not being recorded. So it's like...
Exactly. Exactly. And, you know, it doesn't make it boring. It doesn't make it anything other than, you know, just that people are watching a genuine human have a genuine human conversation. It's just like,
especially when you watch, like, there for a while I was watching every single one of them for a few months, and it's like, you know, I just feel like you get to know the person even though you don't know the person.
Exactly.
Because you're learning their outlooks on things all, like, throughout every episode you watch. You're learning how they think, how they look at certain topics, you know, how they feel about certain perspectives, and, you know, you get to know them even though you don't really know them.
Exactly. Like, well, there's like a lot of like comedians or like people, like just speakers or just public figures in general that, like, you know, I've watched podcasts with, you know, Joe Rogan, or like even just like random podcasts that people suggest to me.
Yeah.
And I'll hear
like Nelk Boys or...
Yeah, and it's like I hear like, you know, different guys who have other podcasts like their own, and then I'll be like, oh, this guy's interesting. I'll check out his content, find out he has a podcast, listen to his podcast. I'm like, oh, damn, this guy's really funny. This guy's got some good views, kind of the same views as me, so I enjoy listening to him. And then I'll have somebody else on that I'm like, oh, damn, he's got some good points too, like on the opposite side of my views. I'm gonna go check out his stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, it kind of like, it broadens a lot of like horizons for me, just because it's like, you know, I'm learning a lot of different views, but I'm also learning a lot of different people and a lot of different, you know, intelligent speakers and people who have like a pretty deep thought process. Like, you know, sometimes I'll listen to podcasts, you know, that are funny, you know, not a lot of meaning behind them, they're just funny. But like, I'll listen to, you know, there's a couple that are just like, there was one that I used to listen to when I worked at a boarding school. I can't remember the name of it, and I don't remember what guy it was. I haven't listened to it since I worked there, and that was a while ago. But, like, you know, he was very deep. You know, he got into a lot of mental health, you know, issues and a lot of different, like, there was one he talked about, like, an indirect approach, because we were, you know, working at a boarding school. You can't be too overbearing with the children.
Yeah, you can't directly tell them what you think they need to do.
Exactly. You cannot be...
Every time, anyway. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't.
It depends on the child. It depends on the kid. It depends on, you know, the approach you need to take. Every kid's different. But, like, there was one about indirect approach, and like how you can be on their side and make them feel that you are trying to actually help them and that you're on their team, but at the same time kind of gently nudge them in one direction. And again, it's not like, you know, a lot of people will be like,
yeah, you're not manipulating
exactly.
them. You're just trying to push them towards the right direction.
Exactly. A lot of people will be like, well, that's manipulation. No, it's not. Because I want this kid to know I'm not telling him to do it because I'm mad at it, or I'm not telling him to do it because I think that he's stupid or whatever. I'm telling him to do it because I know it's the right way to go, but I'm also on his team. I want him to succeed in life. I'm not here to sit here and bully these kids.
And you're not here to make them do, you're not here to manipulate them into doing something that they don't want.
Exactly. I'm trying to steer them towards success in life. And obviously a lot of kids, like, you see kids come through that you know that there's just not much potential. You know, they just have too much going on in their lives. They're just, you know, it's a lot. And I can't say that there's no one that's too far gone, but there's a lot of kids that come through that you just can kind of see, like, I will try my very, very best to put him in the right spot. But there's not much to do. There's not much that I can do. You know, I don't have a degree. You know, I don't have a, you know, psychology degree. You know, I'm not a psychologist. You know, I can't sit here and tell him exactly why he's feeling the way he's feeling or doing the things that he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm just here to, you know, teach him about life. Like, hey, you know, don't do this, don't do that, you know, whatever. Like, try to help him out and give him reasons why he shouldn't do it. Because, you know, I worked with a lot of people, again, and it was a high turnover rate. It wasn't built for everybody. You know, I worked with a lot of people that would come in for like a month or two, and they'd just be like, they would just tell the kid exactly what they needed to do and wouldn't give them a reason. And a kid's not going to respond to that, especially a kid who's grown up, you know, struggling the way, you know, you don't end up in a boarding school because you're, you know, amazing at life and you just happen to end up there. You're there because you've struggled and you've been struggling in life, whether it be, you know, with the law or you're struggling just at home.
Yeah,
you know, there's a lot
your family might be, you know, like, and boarding schools, sometimes there's like situations where it's like they get forced to go there, right? Like, it's like
majority of the kids that they were like pretty much. I can remember one kid who was there by choice. Everyone else was there.
Most of them were there by
either
court order or their parents.
Yeah, it was
making them.
Yeah, it was like court order. The parents made them go. Just like, you know, different, you know, guardians will send them, or like if they're. But there was one kid who was there by choice, and that was only because he needed to get caught up in school. And like, it wasn't only because he needed to get, like, he still struggled mentally with some like anger, some shit like that. But you know, majority of the kids there were there against their own will, and it made it a little difficult to help steer those kids in the right direction, because they want to fight this. They want to fight it because they're not there by choice. They want to fight it as much as they can, you know. But it makes it very difficult. You can't be too direct because you know, like I said, I had people working there. They tell the kid exactly what they need to do, but they don't give them a reason. Those kids grew up struggling, but they're smart. They're you know, they might not be school smart, but they're smart enough life knowledge. Like, they've grown up a lot because of the things that they've experienced, and so you tell them they're gonna need a reason why, or they're not gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that's the same thing. Again, not even just with kids there. It's the same thing with just about everybody too.
Yeah, kids in general. It's hard to get kids in general to listen to what you think that they should do.
Exactly.
Because they will have what they want to do, and then you have what you think is the right thing for them to do.
Exactly. And, you know, again, I did not have, you know, I don't have a degree in psychology. I'm not this, you know, I'm not the fucking, I don't know everything about fucking mental health. You know, I just know what I know, and, you know, I'm, you know, try to help steer these kids in the right direction. And again, I made a lot of good relationships, not only with my coworkers, but with these students, like, just because, you know, I was that way. I wasn't too overbearing. There was very rarely I had to, like, I struggled with students. It was very rare that I just would butt heads. You know, there was always those kids that you just butt heads. I was young working there. I was working with, you know, 16 to 18 year olds, kids that are almost my age. And I'm sitting there, you know, you butt heads with those kids because they're like, oh, he's just almost my age. They don't listen to what you say, and they'll be like, well, you're almost my age. Why should I have to listen to you? And, you know, stuff like that. But then there was also those kids, like, there's a really good kid. Obviously, I can't say his name just because, you know, legal reasons.
Legal reasons.
But there's this kid, I remember, he got there. He's one of the most respectful kids I'd ever met in my life, you know. And I was like, kind of questioning why he was there. I had a lot of one-on-one time with this kid, and me and him got along very well. And he was like a kid that if I told somebody else, like, hey, this is what we need to do, just something simple, like we were lining up to go to dinner or something like that, and they would just be like, fuck that, fuck this, you know, like not wanting to go because they're in a bad mood because they got like a bad like letter or something bad came from home, or they got bad news from their therapist or something. They're just pissed off at the world, so they want to make our lives difficult. Well, you know, those kids, those ones are like, hey, let's fucking go, dude. Like, stop making their lives more difficult just because you're having a shitty time, you know. And then you sit down there. There's another opportunity for a one-on-one with a different student, you know. And then you have those kids that are like leaders, and again, everyone fucking hated it, and of course, everyone probably, you know, hated the staff just because they were there, but, you know, we tried our fucking best, you know, and to steer those kids in the right direction. But again, totally off in the weeds here.
No, that's fine. People have no idea really how hard it is to be like a teacher or a counselor at, especially a boarding school.
Yeah.
Like a regular school is hard enough as it is because kids are fucking retarded. But like going to like a boarding school, like all of those kids have problems. Like it's not, and I shouldn't say all of them, but the majority of them have legitimate problems that they need help with.
Exactly. And, you know, we try our best to help them. We, you know, and a lot of those kids thought I was just there for a paycheck. A lot of those kids, you know, because I made decent money for a kid my age, you know, working there. You know, I worked a lot of hours. You know, you don't get a lot of time. You know, you work 7 on, 7 off, you know, but again, the 7 off, you build a lot of relationships, but then again, a lot of those kids are like, you're just here to work, you're just here, you know, to get your paycheck and leave. And it's like, dude, I'm not here for, yeah, I applied for a job because I needed money, right? I needed the money, but that's not why I applied here.
Yeah.
I could go work for the same amount of money, you know, at McDonald's at the time. Was, you know, it was right when kind of COVID was kind of somewhat winding down, but like not super, I don't know, it was like sort of winding down, but not quite. Especially in Utah, I guess, because Utah's, you know, they had very lax.
They were pretty lax.
They were very lax laws as far as COVID went. So like for Utah, it was kind of winding down, and you know, but McDonald's, you know, they were struggling for workers. They're paying $16-17 an hour. You know, I could have worked there and made the same amount of money, or I could have went to, you know, Wendy's. You know, just easy job, just a job that takes, you know, that takes the bare minimum to do. But I decided that I was going to do that. I wanted to help these kids with their issues, you know, because again, I have struggled in my life. Granted, they've not trying to compare here, but you know, they've been through probably more traumatic experiences that led them there than maybe I
you had, yeah.
But still, I still had my own struggles. You know, I just remember like right when I was going through like a pretty rough patch, like senior year. I just remember because I moved from my hometown. I didn't have any friends where I kind of went. You know, I was very, very withheld there. Kind of talking about like just wasn't super social. And, you know, I just was having a really, really hard time, like, going there. And my grades started to drop. Like, everything was just kind of going downhill. Like, my grades were dropping. I wasn't going to class sometimes. I would just wake up and just be like, my parents left for work. I'm not going to class today. Like, fuck that. You know, there was a lot of times that, just based off circumstance, I was acting out, and for me, you know, I was a relatively good kid, but I was like, oh, I'll just fuck that, or I'd just leave without telling anybody, I'd leave the house without telling anybody, or I'd go do something without even asking, or, you know, just, you know, little shit like that. And, you know, and those kids, they have a lot worse happen, and then everyone's like, oh, they're just little shits. No, they're not just little shits. They just don't know how to process what they're going through. And so for me, it was like, all right, if I can help these kids process this, you know, process what they're going through, kind of relate, help maybe see if they can relate to what I'm going through, whatever, like see if I can help them from my experiences. That's why I was there. I was there to help steer these kids in the right direction. You know, and I just remember one of the kids, he graduated from the program. He was about to leave, about to go off to college. I just remember me and this kid we had butted heads a lot, but we were also very close. We were very close, but we always butted heads because he didn't like it when he would act out and I wasn't on his side, because me and him were pretty close. But I would, you know, I was obviously, you know, he needed to act a certain way. And I just remember when he was leaving, it was almost kind of when I was leaving, around the same time that I left that job. And I just remember he like shook my hand and he's like, I want you to know, I know that I gave you a lot of issues. He's like, but I just want you to know that like you helped me through a lot being here. And that's why I did it. You know, I didn't, not exactly for the thanks, but I did it to help those kids.
Yeah, to help them.
Exactly.
And that's the important thing, is that like a lot of those kids don't understand is that like a lot of those teachers, and I'm not going to say all of them, but like a lot of those teachers and those counselors, they are there because they want to help you.
Exactly.
They are there strictly just because they want to help kids. And those kids will look at them and spit in their fucking face and act like they're the worst person in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't imagine how that feels on being on the receiving end of that. Like, you know, a kid treating you like you're just a terrible, horrible person because you're here and you want to help.
Exactly. And, you know, sometimes, you know, I'd see the best of the best like those guys, some of those guys, I would ask them for advice. You know, they were like really good at their jobs, and then I'd hear kids just bad mouthing them, like fuck that guy. You know, he's such a fucking, just going off on him, and I'm like, you have no idea how much, potential, how much like potential help you could be getting if you just listen to him, because sometimes, because a lot of the guys that I would ask for advice for had been there for a while, so they were in higher up positions. But the higher up you were, usually the less the child listened to you. Just because, like, unless you were a therapist or something. Like, if you were like their therapist, they would usually listen to you obviously more. But I just mean, like, as far like higher up in the programming department, which is where I was at, the higher up you went there, the less the kids listened to you, because they just thought you were, trying to be, a certain way because you were higher up. Like, I just remember my boss, like not my direct boss, but my big boss, he was like kind of ran the whole department. All I ever heard was kids talk about how he's a douche, now he's just always trying to get on the kids, he's always trying to get on our case. And it's like, man, if only, you saw the effort that he put in, he's always, every time I walk in his office, he knows exactly what the fuck he's talking about. He knows. Yeah. He knows.
He was always on the spot. He was ready to give advice and ready to be, like, probably gave good advice.
Exactly. But again, it's, the kids would spit in his face and would listen to him and talk crap, and even to his face, just fucking shit on him. And it's just like, damn, like, how discouraging would that be, I can't imagine going through that. But, he was very like hardened, he'd been there for a while, so he didn't really care that much.
Yeah, you become calloused at some point.
But for me, like, especially starting off, I just remember I had this one kid, just fucking, I was just trying to sit and talk to him, and he just was like, pushing back and just like, fuck that, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. And I just remember I was brand new at that job, and I was like, holy shit, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if I can fucking do this, because, like, to sit here, I'm at home, I'm reading the handbooks, I'm reading the rules, the regulations, putting my all into this job so I can help them, and I'm just sitting here just getting nothing back. No reciprocation at all. It's just like...
Yeah, it doesn't seem like any of the kids are making progress or anything.
It's just like, and that's one thing that's just discouraging. Some days you just have really bad days. You would feel like it's all your fault that, holy shit, all the kids were just pissed off at me today, or all the kids were on... and there were some times that my direct boss... my direct supervisor, he was a wrestling coach. He would be gone for wrestling trips. I'd be running that whole hallway by myself. I'd be running the families, what we call it, by myself. Then at that point, you kind of got to get a little more of a hard-ass attitude, because it's like, all right, not only I have to help these kids, I also have to make sure they get their shit done on time, or else I get in trouble. Like cleaning and, their schoolwork and shit like that. Like, I had to make sure that shit was done and their rooms were clean, and it was just, you sit, and that's when you get most of the pushback, and the kids will just, even the most respectful kids with the best relationships, they'll just shit on you. They'll just be like, oh, fuck you, man, I thought you were cooler than that. And you just get so much shit, and then you just...
I thought you were cool, and then you have to discipline them, and it's like...
It's all, yeah.
I am fucking cool, but you're choosing to be a douche, so I have to... There are consequences, man.
Yeah. It's like, I got back in my car, you get back in your car after a day like that, it almost feels like you've been holding your breath all day. You just sit down and you're just like, and you just let out a big old exhale, and you're just like, fuck, what did I do wrong? Or like, what could I have done better? And you just sit and you just think, and you're especially, right off, when you're brand new, you just wrap your brain around it. And I was there for almost a year, so eventually I kind of, like you said, get callous to it. I just get back in my car, I'm like, well, if he doesn't want fucking help,
he doesn't want fucking help.
I can't force him. I can't force him to want my help. I can't force him to. Again, there was a lack of respect between me and a lot of children, just because I was so young. I was so close to their age, and there was a lot of times where kids would just, there was no give. There was just no give. They just wouldn't want to listen to me because I was so young. They'd come out, and be like, I need to go talk to this guy. I'm like, oh, hey man, what's going on? Try to talk to him. No. You wouldn't understand. I'm like, well, let me try, I'll try to help you out. No, you're too young. I'm like, oh, okay, well, all right. And that,
okay.
Again, right off the bat, that was very discouraging, and it was just one of those things, like, fuck, dude, this job is, it's tough mentally, it's mentally draining, not hard physically, obviously. It's not hard to even do your just basic duties. But, sitting there learning and just trying to figure out how each kid is different. And then you're getting new kids, almost every week. You're getting new kids here and there from different families moving up that are getting older. Kids that you don't know. Then you have to relearn everything about this child. And, it's just like, It's ridiculous that how stressful mentally that was, especially because I was there to help. And
Yeah.
so, but anyway, kind of to wrap back around to what I was saying before, like about like the podcast and shit, like those, listening to those, like just hearing those guys talk about those different topics was like, that helped me out a lot in that job, more than just me putting my mind to it, you know?
Yeah, having multiple perspectives to give you an idea of not only how to deal with the situation that's presented in front of you, but also I don't know, listening to podcasts, certain people anyways, it's really helped humble me in a lot of ways, because I've got to learn experiences from other people that I never had to experience. Mm-hmm. It's just some shit that I listened to on a podcast. Like, oh, well, I guess I won't try that because that sounds awful.
Exactly.
You know?
And, you know, it's just, yeah, and so listening to that helped me out so much more, because again, as far as like physical labor goes, you can do it if you just buckle down and fucking do it. Mm-hmm. Physical labor is easy as shit. But when it comes to not only working that job, but like relationships and, you know, just fucking everyday life, associating yourself with people, and even just knowing the world itself, just having a broad world view and knowing different topics and having an opinion and building those opinions and listening to other people's opinions is just like, it's so important just to, you know, it's so important to do research about that shit just so you can function in everyday life. Because, I mean, again, there's, you know, I don't know everything about relationships. Like, you know, if I did, you know,
you'd have a perfect relationship at the moment.
Life would be fucking, you know, again, like, and not even just like relationships as far as like dating goes, like even friendships
and
like,
and
if I
so
knew
on.
everything about that shit, I would have never lost a friend. You know, I'd still have all my friends intact. I would have never, had burnt bridges or anything like that. Like, but again, listening to those opinions and listening to different experiences is just one of those things that it's like, all right, I did this with this person. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I try something different.
Try something different. Yeah.
As far as even dating goes, sometimes I would with my ex, I did something this way, and I was like, well, with my first actual serious girlfriend, I did stuff. I was very attached, very clingy almost, just something that it was like, all right, maybe I see a lot of girls like that, maybe I do this.
Yeah, I think we all are that way with our first couple of relationships.
Exactly.
Is you're not pretending to be attached, but you get really attached.
Exactly.
And you're like, I want to latch on to this, I want to hold on to this, and I want to keep this, and then you don't really know what you're doing with this.
Exactly. It's almost like, and for me, I'll be the first one to admit it, the downfall of that relationship was eventually, I was so attached, but as she grew and as she became more open to things, I was, and I'll admit it, I'll be that one to just admit, like, I was too attached, and that was ultimately the downfall of that relationship. I got too attached and I was almost overbearing. And so the next relationship I was in, the last one I was in, she, I was like, all right, I'm going to show her how much I appreciate her, but I'm not going to be clingy. I'm not going to be that overbearing person.
Yeah, the super attached at the hip.
Exactly. And, we had our issues as far as just, like, personal choices go right off the bat. It was just, I did some shit that pissed her off. She did some shit that pissed me off. And so there was a lot of fighting. And so there's nothing I could have done as far as, like acting towards her that I could have done. It was just a lot of circumstantial shit but then again, she was very attached, she was very clingy, and I just wasn't, and I wasn't giving it back. And so there was a downfall there, was I wanted to come home some nights and I just wanted to fucking chill by myself. I just wanted to sit. But yeah. she was always wanting, she was wanting to always watch, we had to watch this show together, we had to watch this movie together, we had to always be spending time together. And then, we ended our relationship, and then I was like, fuck, dude, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong?
What's so wrong about wanting to come home and have some time to yourself, decompress, and it's not even every night, it's a matter of it's every now and again, I need some time just to myself, There's nothing wrong. Everybody needs alone time.
Exactly.
Everybody needs alone time.
And so, but in my head, it was like, all right, I did it one way with this girl, it didn't work out. I did it this way with this girl, didn't work out. And so I'm thinking in my head, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I listen to podcasts or even, watch certain movies or whatever that teach me different things, or speakers. And I'm just listening like, all right, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, maybe that is something that I need to work on, or maybe, and listening to different shit. And basically, what I learned from all these different perspectives is, no matter how you act, you have to find somebody who is willing to respect the way that you act, or help you learn to act at least being clingy. You need to find someone who can help you learn to be your own individual person.
Yeah.
Like with that one girl, I was always wanting to spend time with her. Then with this girl, I wanted to be my own individual person. So my mistake with my last ex, I should have helped her try to become her own individual person, instead of being sitting there holding it against her all the time that I couldn't be on my own. I should have taken that time to be like, at least sit down and talk to her about it and see what her views and whatever. But I didn't. I just basically kind of put it in my head that, oh my God, she's so fucking just crazy, fucking man. Just shit like that. And and now that I've grown, I'm like, fuck, well, maybe I should have helped her. Maybe I should have helped her grow and helped her become somebody. And same thing with different friendships. I had some really good friends, that have just kind of gone by the wayside because I don't try to, if they're going through something, or if they're doing something, or they're doing their own thing and we don't talk a lot, I don't at least make that attempt to go, because I'm just like, whatever. And
I mean, I'm the same way. I try to message people at least. Like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, yeah, you free this weekend? I don't know. I feel like sometimes if you're too much on that side of like, hey, are you free this weekend? Hey, are you free this weekend? Hey, are you free this weekend? Eventually, they're just gonna stop responding to you. Because most of the time, they're probably not free this weekend. I just message people so that I can remind them that I'm fucking here.
Exactly.
Like, hey, yeah. Just send them a reminder, not necessarily that I'm here. Like, that almost sounds like...
But that you're here for them.
But, I'm here. Let me know if, basically just reminding them that I'm your friend and I'm getting a hold of you to see how you are. That's it.
Exactly.
That's all I want to do. And if I don't know, if I get a response, then I get a response. If I don't, then I'm probably just not going to send you another message for quite some time.
Yeah, exactly. That was one thing that I was really bad at, and I not lost friends. I'm sure if I ever text them again, we'll be just friends, civil.
Friends on a break.
We'll be civil, or we'll be associate with each other. But
they're not your best buddies.
They're not my
anymore.
best. Yeah, they're not my best friend anymore. I can't go talk to them about what's going on in my life. Deep shit. But it's like, I could have at least sent them a text saying, hey, which, I mean, again, they could have done the same thing for me, but I can't expect somebody to do something that I'm also not doing. If I'm sending them text like, hey, how's it going, man? I just want to let you know that, I miss you, whatever. If you're ever in town, let me know, or whatever.
Yeah. Just let me know if you're ever free. Anything.
Exactly. Or if you need anything, let me know. For me, I'm sitting there like, fuck, why don't these people ever talk to me? And then it's like, well, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, phone works both ways,
exactly,
man.
I could not expect, and so that was again one thing that I've learned listening to different people and perspectives is don't expect somebody to do something if you're not doing it to them. And so it's like, all right, if I send that text, or I send these texts, and I let them know that I'm here, try to conversate with them at least once a week or once a month even, and they aren't doing it the same, then I know, all right, they're not worth being in my life if they don't.
Yeah. I also look at that as it's not necessarily like, I don't know, I don't ever take anything personally. So it's like if I was to message, say even like my good buddy Chris, if I messaged him and he didn't message me back for a couple of weeks, like I'm not going to take that personally. Like to me, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, he's such a fucking dick. Why the fuck didn't he fucking respond to me? He's not my friend anymore. Like I'm not going to be that way. It's a matter of like, I'm just going to take it from the perspective of, oh, well, he's probably busy, read my message, and then got busy again and forgot to respond.
Exactly.
And that's, or sometimes, like, even I know that I do this pretty regularly. This is one of the things that pisses me off about myself, is that, like, especially in the evening after, like, when I'm sitting there I drank a few beers or whatever, I'll get on my phone and I'll start typing a response, and I think that I sent it I'll close my texting app or Snapchat or whatever the fuck it is, and I'll put my phone back in my pocket. And then I'll wake up the next morning and I'll receive a text message of, why'd you leave me on red? And it's because I fucking typed it out. I just forgot to hit send.
Exactly.
And it happens quite often. But so I just try to be,
give them the benefit of the doubt.
Even if it's not the benefit of the doubt, it's like, well, no matter what, we're all just people. We're all imperfect, and I'm not going to take it personally because you not responding to me has more to do with what's going on with you than it does me.
Exactly.
So, it's not something that's a fault with me, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to let it, make me change my outlook on you.
Exactly. And, I wish I could remember the guy's name. There's a talk. It was my dad sent it to me. It was a TED talk about basically the same thing. Don't take shit personally. It was he hit on that subject too. If somebody's not wanting to talk to you, or somebody's not wanting to, if somebody's not responding, again, like you said, it could be just a certain situation, maybe they got busy, whatever.
Maybe they're laying in their bed depressed and don't want to respond to anyone.
Exactly.
It's not.
But one of the things he also touched on was, talking to somebody who most definitely you can tell does not want to talk to you. You hit up somebody like, hey man, I just want to see how you're going, how things are going, whatever, and they're just like, good. Very short responses. And a lot of people, and again, me in high school especially, I was always taking that personally. Like, what the fuck, dude? You can't, type out a bigger message, something like that. Listen to this talk.
Yeah, you can't have some thought into what you're saying.
Exactly.
To me.
And then I listen to this talk, and this guy's like, don't take it personally. He's like, even if it is personal, and it's something that, maybe it is, they are feeling that, all right, I don't want to fucking talk to this person. Don't take it personal. Look at it from, all right, it could be, maybe they're going through something and they're just having a hard time. They're not feeling like talking, or, even if they don't like you, that's on them. If they aren't even trying to discuss that with you, if they aren't trying to, iron that out, if they're just that way, don't take it personally because that's on them.
Yeah, and it's one of many options as to what it could be.
Exactly.
So you can't immediately jump to the conclusion of, oh my God, my friend doesn't like me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it is that. Maybe it's not that they don't like you. Maybe you do shit that irritates them.
Exactly.
Maybe they just don't want to have you over at their house because you do shit that frustrates them when you're at their house.
Exactly. And it's just it's one of those things. It's just shit isn't always personal. And shit doesn't always, and you don't always have to. If you are being yourself and somebody does not like that, you don't have to.
You don't even have to take that personal.
You don't even have to. Yeah, you don't have to take it personal. But bottom line is all right. Me and this person, me being myself and them being their self, we don't gel so well. Maybe be acquaintances. We know each other.
Yeah.
We see each other around town.
You don't have to have a barbecue with each other once a week or anything.
Taking fucking summer trips to fucking Mexico with them. You don't have to take family or whatever. You just know them. You say hi to them when you see them. Maybe conversate here and there. But nothing has to be perfect. As long as you are being yourself, nothing should be taken too personal to where you're hurting. It should be, if you're being yourself,
definitely
staying true to yourself. If somebody doesn't like you, guess what? You're being yourself and you're staying true to that. Just, that's a friendship that maybe doesn't need to be had. It's and it's not against, nothing against the other person, nothing against you. It's just, hey, they're being themselves, you're being yourself. Just not a friendship that's there,
Yeah.
Same thing, one of my buddies back in St. George, me and him were really close in high school. We were close my senior year and somewhat close once I graduated. Obviously, kind of, communication kind of split when I graduated and left. I was busy. I was working a lot, trying to figure out my life, figuring out what the fuck I was doing, working on my relationship, trying to get things figured out in all aspects of life, so I couldn't be there 24/7 for him. Well, we hadn't talked for a while. I had a serious conversation. I contacted him the other day, trying to talk to him, and he's changed as a person, as you should. People change, and it's not always a bad thing. And people just change. They grow.
We're all very diverse.
They get different as they experience different things. As they grow up, they get different. I text him, and he's changed as a person, but it doesn't mean that I love the guy any less. And me and him, we just don't gel so well anymore. We just don't. Even hanging out, just the conversations we have, everything's just a little.
It's very dry.
Exactly. It's just we don't.
I have friends. I have a few friends like that.
And
I don't know what to do about it. It's like, I love you, and I don't want to fucking, like, stop hanging out with you, but, like, legitimately, all you talk about is this, or all you talk about is this, and it's like, like, it's the same shit every time we hang out, and I'm getting kind of bored. Like, not to be mean or anything, but it's like...
Yeah, and so...
Nothing ever changes.
Yeah, and so, bottom line is, this guy, again, that I once called my brother, and again, even though we aren't as good as friends as we were, I still love that guy to death. And
he's still your friend.
I hope the best for him, but bottom line is, we kind of, I made this decision, kind of like, all right, maybe we aren't going to be so involved in each other's lives anymore. Thanks, man. Yeah. And maybe we'll take a beat, and the bottom line is, I still love the dude, and I will always love this dude, and I would take a bullet for him, but
you just can't fucking do certain things.
As far as a friendship goes, there's not a lot to talk about. There's not a lot of common ground anymore. So it's like, you know what? As an adult, I will. It's a decision that it's just
you
like,
can still meet up every now and again and get a beer or something, but it's like, it's just not somebody that you would like, hey, let's go to fucking Mexico for a week, or go to Canada. Like, hey, let's go on a road trip together.
Exactly.
Like, it's not that type of friendship.
Exactly, and it's just one of those things. Like, at one point, me and this guy were doing everything together. We were always hanging out, had a lot of the same views, a lot of the same interests. Shit, even our relationships, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the problems that we had, we could talk about them with each other because they were almost fucking identical.
Yeah.
But he's grown to the point of he's much more like, he's just like, I don't even know how to explain it. He's just much like, what's the word, like, it's almost like he's just a lot more calloused, I guess, to certain things, and I'm very open. You've seen it. Like, I can be like, I have very, like, I like to have deep conversation. I like to be, but he's just, he's just kind of like, he's just kind of just a dry person now, which is fine. He has friends that are like him now, and they get along perfectly.
Yeah, they're very.
I know
they're not flamboyant whatsoever.
Yeah,
They don't stray from whatever the fuck they're talking about. Like, we're cool talking about aliens, or fucking, like, we can go from talking to aliens to talking about masturbating.
Exactly.
And there's no in between. It just somehow just fucking changes to that. It just happens.
Literally, within the span of like 5 minutes, we can talk about like 80 different things. And bottom line is it's like, it's like, some people are like that, some people aren't. But as an adult, you need to accept that instead of getting upset by it. You can't sit there and hold it against people because they aren't like you anymore.
No.
And so it's like, that's what's perfect about being here with you guys, is everybody's a little different, but we all are very.
Yeah, we all get along so well.
We all get, and we can talk about just about any different topic. And even the people that don't like talking about certain topics, they can still sit there and laugh. They can sit there and laugh and enjoy our company.
They don't have to be a part of the conversation, but they can still laugh at the conversation.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's perfect is, that's basically, it's just the whole premise of, deciding who you want in your life and who you don't. And deciding you don't want someone in your life doesn't make them a bad person. You're not cutting off. Like, I just, I've seen a lot of, posts on social media, just like people like my best friend's changed so much, and it's like, sometimes you just gotta cut the bad fruit off the tree or some shit like that, and it's like, why does that necessarily make them a bad fruit just because that person changed?
Because you guys didn't get along, or like you guys don't get along as well as you used to, why does that make that person a bad person?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know, unless your friend fucks you over in a terribly awful way, you're not really left on bad terms, in my opinion. Like, if you guys just don't talk anymore, that's not bad terms. To me, that just means that you went from being friends to, like, now you're acquaintances, basically.
Exactly, and it's like, it just sucks that, I see stuff like that, like, they've changed so much, like, it's like, it's crazy how, like, just different shit like that, and it's like, that doesn't necessarily make them a bad fruit on the tree. It doesn't necessarily make them a bad person. It just means that person has changed, which is what people, again, are supposed to do.
We're supposed to evolve, man.
We're supposed to evolve and change and, adapt to the different things that we've experienced and become somebody who is, who's, almost, conquered those things within ourselves to become a different better person on the other end. Because no matter what, you know, you can change for the worse, you can change for the better, but no matter what, you're always going to be changing. And either the people around you accept that and decide, hey, maybe we need some space, or maybe, you know, whatever, I'll still be here for you, or they're like, all right, well, fuck this person.
Yeah.
So much different than when I remember them. Like, fuck them. And in all honesty, again, that is on that person. Even if you do have a friend that's changed for the worse, like I have.
Yeah, they either accept you for who you are, or they don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's as simple as that. It's, you know, if you never fucking ask, the answer is always no.
Exactly.
It's just there's no in between. It's just a given.
Yeah, there's just so many things that I've learned just again from listening to different people talk and different people conversate and having so many different relationships. And again, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm just, you know, I've been an amazing friend all the time, because
I've been a dick friend as well in the past.
I've been on the other end of things where I'm like, fuck that person, or fuck this guy, he's changed so much, or like, oh, you know, I'm cutting him out of my life because he did this or he did that. And it's like,
I've never really cut anyone out of my life, but I've always, like, I've just slowly stopped associating myself as much.
Well, okay, yeah.
So it's like you just slowly kind of work your way out of a friendship, and I've done that before.
Yeah,
and I also, like, I'm sorry to some of my friends, because I know I do not talk to you as much, because, like, legitimately, some of my friends I'm cool with, and I don't talk to them as much now either. But that's just because I'm so fucking busy. Exactly. It's like, it's not a matter of, like, you know, some of my friends I slowly have worked back to, like, okay, we're not as cool of friends as we used to be. But then there's friends that randomly out of nowhere we will go and stay in a fucking hotel or a motel and fucking just drive somewhere and go stay there just so we can hang out in the pool in a hot tub for the night.
Exactly.
Like, that's it, you know.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, I mean, so many different experiences and so many different things that I've just seen in my life that are just like, you know, life is just too short to, like, you know, when I'm scrolling through, like I said, and see those social media posts that my friends are sharing, and that I have people in my family posting about other people in my family, like, very passive aggressively, and it's just like, dude, life's too fucking short. If you don't want to associate yourself with somebody, just don't. Just don't.
Yeah, just do not do it.
It's not their fault that you don't want to associate with them. So do not make them feel stupid or make them feel below you for not wanting to be a part of their life. Just be like, you know, again, you don't have to sit there and point out every little thing that you think is wrong with them either. You don't have to sit there and make them feel like shit. Just distance yourself.
Yeah.
If you see them or you happen to, you know, they happen to talk to you, you know, don't be a fucking dick just because you, again, don't want to be. Because there's been times in my life, again, I had friends back in Eureka that hung out with people that I didn't like, and then started becoming to be like those people, and instead of being the friend that, you know, I should have been when I was at least making sure that they were, you know, doing all right and shit, I would just be an asshole to them. I'd just be like, oh, fuck you. I'd make fun of them, or, like, behind their back I would sit there and just talk, and it's just like, and now that I'm older and I've ruined these relationships because of the shit that I've said, and now they think I'm a piece of shit or whatever. Now I'm just like, you know, fuck. I wish, you know, I wish that I would have handled that situation differently. Everyone handles different situations differently with their friends, but I wish I would have just been like, all right, I need to be accepting of this person because of how much they did for me when we were friends.
Yeah, I always hate those moments where you sit down and you look back and you're like, God damn it, I handled that so poorly. Like, you just think about how poorly you handled that situation, or how poorly you responded to what they said. You know, it's like, I could have fucking done way better than that, and I was being lazy because, you know, like, and sometimes we are that. Just us as people, we are fucking lazy, and we choose the easiest route most of the time.
Exactly. And, again, the easy route was to make fun of him with
and
my friends and be a dick. It was an easy route. I just be a dick and make fun of him with my friends. But the right choice, for me at least, again, not right for everyone, should have just been, I should have just been supportive and not said anything. We didn't hang out. I didn't have to say shit about him. I didn't have to even think about him. I should have just been supportive of what he was doing and lived my own life. But again, hindsight's always 20/20. I don't sit there and dwell on it. Like I said, life's too fucking short to just sit here and dwell on the decisions I made back then or whatever. And you know, I made those decisions. It's led me to where I'm at right now, which I'm in a great fucking spot. I'm the happiest I've ever fucking been in my whole life, you know. I'm in the best position I've ever been in. But, you know, then again, it's still like one of those things that's like, all right, instead of doing something this way, I need to do it this way. And I'm not competing like a lot of people I see, like...
Yeah, there's some people out there that are fucking competing to be better than every person that they encounter.
And I'm not competing to be better than, you know, this person or this person. And I'm not going to sit there and, you know, again, I'm not knocking the dudes on social media who post the videos of them helping out people in need or whatever. Like,
yeah,
I have certain viewpoints about that. Like, you're gonna help somebody to help them no matter what. I don't know what the camera is necessary for, but good on them for helping them at least.
Yeah,
whatever.
they want to become YouTube famous, and that's something they want to do anyways. So I don't know. And I don't necessarily look at it as like terrible. Like, you're not an awful person, but like it's stop acting like you're doing something great.
Because yeah, they're helping out somebody in need, for one, and for two.
But you're doing it for clout.
Exactly.
The thing.
They're trying to also. I get the whole point of trying to spread that. You know, trying to spread
positivity.
Trying to spread that
positivity
for everybody. You know, trying to do that. And, you know, when I saw the first couple, I was like, man, that's an awesome thing that they're doing. But then I started seeing these very, very famous people start doing it on camera, and it's like, all right, you're already famous. There's already
fucking stop doing that.
There's already so many people in the world that are doing this. You don't have to compete with them just to show how good of a person you are, because granted, you shouldn't be a good person so everyone else can see how good of a person you are. You should just be a good person for yourself and to spread that joy to the person you are helping. You know,
if you're ever audited, they'll see what you donated to the fucking charities, bro.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
It's like that. No matter what you do, what goes around comes around. If you're spreading joy, it doesn't matter whether or not you're posting it to a fan base of 1 million people, or if it's just me walking down the road dropping some dude $20 because I'm like, all right, I don't need it. This guy needs it more than I do.
He evidently does not have a home.
You know, and it's just one of those things that it's like, for me, I don't like the people competing with each other to be the best person out there.
No.
I
would like every fucking person to be like, and I know this is probably like there's some people out there that would disagree with this, but I would like every person out there to at least be getting by, bro.
Exactly.
Like, I would like every single human being out there on this planet to at least be getting by, and not just like barely scraping by, but getting by. You know, not like, oh yeah, all of us can go buy extravagant things, but comfortably be able to buy food, comfortably be able to live in a house and have a car, you know, some form of transportation, and take care of their kids. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. It's not too much to fucking ask as a human being.
Exactly. And it's just one thing that, you know, being a good person should be for you and for the people around you to help them be better people. You shouldn't have to be a good person just so you can get attention. Like, I don't know, like for me, I used to try to be a good person so people thought I was a good person. That doesn't make you a good person. What makes you a good person is me today. I wake up in the mornings, and the only person that I'm competing with to be a good person
is yourself yesterday.
Exactly. That's something that, again, I learned that on a podcast again.
Yeah.
They were talking about Michael Jordan was doing an interview, and the only person that he ever competed with was himself the day before. So every day I wake up, I'm just trying to compete with the person I was yesterday. How can I, I'm not looking back, 5 years in the past, like, okay, I did this time I'm going to do this. I just wake up, I'm like, all right, yesterday this is the decision I would have made. Thinking on it today, what would I do differently to make it a better situation? And sometimes, again, you're only looking in the near past, and so you're like, all right, I would just do the same this time. But sometimes you sit there and you ponder it and you look over it and you're like, all right,
I should do this.
Like, I need to do it differently if I want to see different. If I want to see a different result than I've seen in the past, I need to do it differently. I can't keep doing the same shit just because I think that it makes me a good person. Like, I need to actually do something to make me feel good again, because the majority, a lot of people think that they need to be good people for other people. You
need to be a good person for yourself. Like, essentially, at the end of the day, if you're not happy with who you are and if you don't love yourself, you can never fucking love someone else. If you're not happy with yourself, it's hard to be happy out in the world with other people.
Exactly. And it's just, yeah, it's, you have to be a good person and true to yourself before you can be a good person for everyone else. You cannot be everyone's savior if you are not
Your own,
basically. Yeah, if you're not your own, you can't be out there, making everybody feel amazing if you're just sitting there miserable all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You just got to do what you think's the good thing to do and make yourself feel good, because bottom line is, I hear a lot of people, like, especially, again, back to the whole relationship things, a lot of people are like, I see a lot of posts like, I would make sure, like, that I am miserable if it means that my significant other is not miserable. I'm like, that's not how that should fucking work.
No.
What needs to fucking happen,
You both need to be fucking happy.
You need to make sure that you are happy before you try to make somebody else happy. Because I've seen it too many times where I take on, or like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or, again, in my personal experience, I've taken on burdens. I've seen people take on burdens just so that their other significant other can be happy. That person just goes fucking downhill and gets miserable, and that relationship
they end up
crumbles.
sitting there lonely, silent, and depressed. Like, at the end of it, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I wasn't towards, like, I don't know, a lot of the people that I know that have ended up in situations like that, they end up towards the end of the relationship, they don't know, like, what to do, so they come home and they're not themselves. So then when they're not themselves, the other person breaks up with them because, oh, you've changed, you're not being yourself. Well, I'm not being myself because you want me to be something different than what I am.
Exactly.
And, they're having this own little personal battle inside of their head every fucking day.
Exactly. You have to be content with who you are and be happy with who you are before you can go and make somebody else happy. But you cannot expect somebody to change just so you can be happy.
Yeah, no.
Like, if
you're not happy with them as they are,
then
why the fuck are you with them?
Exactly. That's not a relationship that should be happening. It's just, I've seen myself change drastically just to be in a relationship with somebody. And I've seen my own mental health. I considered myself a pretty happy kid. I'd get myself into a relationship where I just changed so drastically, and all of a sudden I'm just fucking miserable. I'm just miserable so that my significant other can be happy. Just so that she could be happy, I was changing all the time, and I was miserable. And that's, again, where a lot of the problems in our relationship were, that's where they stemmed from, was from that. I wasn't happy, and I wasn't making her happy because I wasn't happy. And so a lot of the time, people think one way, certain way, you need to make them happy before yourself. No, worry about your own happiness, and then you can get to theirs.
Yeah, it's so funny. You talk about your past relationship, and it reminds me so much of my past relationship, dude. Like, it does. Like, down to a T, like the last two different things you've talked about so far while we've been sitting here are, like, right on board with where my relationship was. Like, I was not happy, so I made her unhappy because I was unhappy. And that's just how it went. Like, shit just... If you're unhappy, you cannot fucking make someone else happy. And that's just... It's how it works, Like, if I'm unhappy, you're not going to be happy hanging out with me.
Exactly.
So how would somebody who's in a relationship with you be happy hanging out with you if you're unhappy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying that you wouldn't be in a good mood because you're hanging out with me, but a matter of you would be upset because I am upset, and you would want to try to cheer me up because that's what you and Tristan and Jacob all do, and that's what good friends are for.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like a relationship. You don't live together, so it's different.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just saying it's that dynamic again, like you said, not living together. That a lot of people think that that's such a good idea. You're in love with somebody, move in with them.
I want to spend every second of every day with you.
Exactly.
Like, no, you do not.
You do not want to spend time with me right now, like every day, because when me and my ex were at our best, she lived 4 hours away from me. That was when we were at our best. We were amazing because every single time we saw each other, it was just fucking. It was amazing coming back together, and it was just like. There's so much to talk about and so much to do.
Yep.
And we had, this crazy idea. You should move right downstairs from me. Granted, she didn't live with me, but we spent every night together and all the time that I wasn't at work together. And then, it just became one of those things that as soon as, like, we kind of, like, moved in together, it was just like, all the fucking time was just like, oh my goodness, dude, I cannot get away. I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. And I wasn't happy. And then, you know, we'd be sitting at home, you know, and she was happy. I don't think that she knew that I was unhappy, but I wasn't, so I couldn't make her happy, you know. She'd want to go on dates. I was just so fucking mentally and emotionally just drained. I didn't want to do shit. I didn't want to go anywhere with her. I was just like,
fuck this shit, I'm done with work for the day, leave me alone.
Yeah, I would just sit at home.
Yeah.
She'd just sit there and she would tell me that she wanted the bare minimum, just a date, dude, flowers, something, dinner, anything, you know, just a bare minimum. And I just was so emotionally just drained from just being with her all the time. I just was like, fuck, I don't want to do shit.
Yeah, you spend every second of every day when you're not at work with that person. And it gets tiring.
It does get tiring, but again, when it comes to the point that you are asking your significant other for just the bare minimum, there's a problem.
Yeah, that's deeper than just yourself.
Yeah,
like than whatever the fuck you think that's going on. Like whatever your thoughts are as to why it's happening, it's deeper than what you think.
And she'd always be like, you know, she would always get very upset. Like, why am I not good enough to take out on a date? It's not that you aren't good enough to take out on a date. It's
I'm fucking tired,
I'm just
bro.
tired of doing the same, you know, I'm just tired of, and I'd always say that, I'm tired of doing the same shit every single fucking day. But I wasn't doing anything in my own life to change it. I was so unhappy that I just was like, I was just going through the motions. I was honestly in such a bad headspace that I was ready to fucking sit and work that job for the rest of my life, live in my shitty apartment for the rest of my life, and just fucking die there. I was so exhausted that I was prepared to just walk through the motions for my whole life. I had no ambition anymore. I just was like, fuck, I hate what I'm doing. I just hate it, but it doesn't matter. You can go through the motions, you know, and I'm just gonna fucking do what I do, and that's my life. That's what I'm gonna do. No more ambition, no more want to go do anything, no more want to like travel, and I love traveling. No more want to travel. I didn't even want to go. Fuck, I didn't even think about kids or marriage anymore. I just thought about
it was just a matter. It was like back here. You put it on the back burner, basically.
And again, like I was in such a bad headspace just because I wasn't worrying about my own happiness, that I just sat there and was like, fuck, I'm ready to just work this job and just die.
Grow old and die, bro.
In my shitty apartment. That's all I thought about was, damn, this is my life. And then, you know, one day I kind of did wake up and I was like,
fuck this job and shove it.
This is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. Job-wise, girlfriend-wise, apartment-wise. Hell, I didn't even want to be in St. George anymore. Everything was just like, I just woke up one day. I was like, I need to worry about my own happiness before I fucking just deteriorate to nothing. And, you know, I talked with my ex about that. Hey, I want to do this. You know, I talked about joining the Army, doing what my brother does, getting free schooling, whatever, getting my life figured out. Because granted, you're in the fucking Army, you know, you sell your life away for 3 years, but, you know, sets you up, get, you know, basically free schooling. They train you to do the job that you're doing. And the job that my brother's doing, he's going to get out of the Army and make $80K a year right off the bat just because he's already trained doing it. So I was like, you know, I get training, I can go to school if I want with the GI Bill, or I can, you know, get VA loans, fucking back to the, you know, VA loan shit, but
VA loans.
But no, get, you know,
inside jokes are great.
Yeah. You know, but you know, get VA loans at zero down. You know, basically, you know, that sets you up pretty well if you join the Army. I didn't want to join the Army, but I wanted to get out of St. George, and I knew that would set me up beautifully in life if I decided to do that. Not beautifully, but I'd be comfortable. And so I just decided I need to change something up. I need to do something. Nope, you're not joining the Army. Well, alright, then what the fuck? Why do you want to switch your job? You're doing so good in life. Or not so good in life, but, you know, you're making good money. Like, why do you want to leave? Like, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do that? And it's just like, we had no plans to go anywhere, so I was trying to make plans for myself. And she was so worried about, well, what about me? Well, what about me? Well, what about you? I'm not happy. I can't make you happy unless I'm happy, so I need to do something that's going to make me happy. You can follow me if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to, but either way, we've made it work long distance. We can make it work again. But no.
Yeah.
You're not joining the Army. You're not doing that. Fine, just leave me behind. Just leave me behind. And then that was kind of the day that I decided this relationship is over.
Yeah. Because if they can't accept... I just gotta say, if a woman can't understand you working, like, whatever it is, like, if this is gonna make you happy, working away from home, and you can't love me still because of what I'm doing, the circumstance I'm putting myself in, so that I can make more money and be happy. Why do you want to take that away from me?
Exactly.
By being upset about it and making me feel bad about wanting to do it.
Exactly, and I felt there was a lot of shit that, because granted, I was not the fucking picture perfect boyfriend. I did shit to her that, if my daughter was ever treated in that way,
you'd be upset.
I would fucking, I want to kill that guy. I would be the first to admit it. There was shit that I did to her that probably ruined her emotionally as much as I was ruined emotionally in that relationship. Probably, maybe even more so. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not in her head. I don't know exactly. But I did some fucked up shit. And I want to say it was as a result to her doing this or in a result to her doing this. But bottom line is, I made those choices on my own. Granted, I wasn't happy, but instead of doing what I did, I should have either ended it or talked to her about it. But so I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I was, the best boyfriend either. But bottom line is when I was trying to figure my shit out, so we could start growing as a relationship and stop doing the same stagnant shit that we were doing. I was trying to make my life better so I could also make her happy. But again, like you said, she just wasn't happy for me. She was not wanting me to be.
Yeah.
She just wanted me to be there with her and almost waste my whole life being with her. And then, to get to a more, personal aspect of things, we were very physical when the relationship started. We were very physical. We were very, we were very
active.
Very active, yeah. We were. And, there was a lot of shit. It was just so fun. I just felt like, I just felt on top of the world because of how, like cohesive we were, not only physically, but, mentally. Like, we were
and shit friends. You like, and common interest, so, and,
So, we were always just in sync. But then, towards the end when we kind of, because all relationships eventually you fall out of sync for a little bit. You hit a patch and they're doing one thing, you're doing one thing, and it's just like that's where we're kind of at, and it was to that point, it got so bad that we just weren't even, this couple that was so, I'm gonna be honest, physical almost every fucking day. Shit, there was some nights, dude, it was just like, as a man, you should want that, but I was just laying in bed and she'd try and I'd just be like, no, I'm not about it. I'm just not. I'm so just mentally in my head. I don't even think I just can't. And, and she would sit there and, she would tell, like, if we had parties, she would tell my friends that I didn't want to, or, because she didn't know what was going on in my head, because, again, I didn't talk to her because, again, I just wasn't happy. And, she would tell my friends about it, and she would tell her friends about it, and just sit there and make me feel like an idiot in front of all these people just because you're doing it, so I can tell people about it, right? And it's like, it's your thing. And then I'd have my friends like making fun of me, like, you really don't want to do that kind of shit, like, what the hell, like, talking about how attractive she was. And I'm just like, you guys don't understand.
Yeah, and why the fuck is she talking to you about it?
Like, why? Well, even at parties, dude, we'd be at parties and I'd be right there and it would just make shit awkward. It's like, why the fuck are you telling everybody? Like, I would talk to my best friend about my problems in a relationship for advice.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't sit there at a party and just
random fucking people
off about just fucking shit that she was doing. I would tell my friends, and she'd get mad. I told my friends, but I wouldn't even tell them. Like, I would ask my buddies for advice, like, what should I do here, or like, what should I, I would talk to them. I wouldn't be like just talking shit just cause. And she'd just spout off at parties about it, and I'm just like, dude, this is something that, okay, it's getting to the point where I need to start voicing out my opinion because you think that it's a physical thing. It's not. And so
yeah, it's right here.
It's meant, and that was my fault. That was my fault. I was sat there and I blamed her for telling everybody, but it was my fault because I was not communicating with her. Because again, I just wasn't happy, and I don't know. It's one of those things that fuck, I could go on and on all day, but shit. I feel like I'm just fucking talking your ear off over here.
No, you're fine, Zach. I'm loving it. I was gonna cut in and be like, hey, do you want to share a cigar?
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah. That was a nice one. Thank you, sir.
You are welcome. You have a nice body break.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. That was a good one. I fucking totally whipped that thing pretty good.
I miss you at work, bro. I miss you so hard at work.
Yeah, I miss you too, man.
Fucking sucks. I mean, I'm glad you're going to college. I'm glad you're doing something better with your life than I ever chose to do, but...
I mean, in all honesty, it's like, it doesn't matter. I want to fight fire. I mean...
I know, you'd be able to do it, but no matter what.
I would be doing... Either way, I'd still be doing what I want to do. I mean, college is nice.
Well, yeah, and you'll be able to fight fire in your off-season until...
meet people, and I get to meet people at college, and I get to hang out with my buddies, and I get to play rugby. I get to play sports again.
Yeah, you get to have some fun.
I get to play sports again, I mean...
And that's shit you'll never get back either. So it's good to look forward to the rest of what you're going to be doing in college, anyways.
Yeah, because even
you're going for business, right?
Yeah, I just
like business management or like
right now it's just associate of science with a focus on business. So I'm like intro to business, accounting, business law. Those are the 3 main classes that I take, and then I have a writing class. It's just, I don't know, fucking hate it.
It's bullshit. I've ascertained that. It's bullshit.
It's a class, I mean, it's just like, so, I don't know. I know how to write, and I know how to write an email, and I know how to do all this shit, but again, I have to take a class for it, really, and if I don't, it's just, I mean, granted, it's a class that everyone has to take. I shouldn't sit here and bitch about it, but again, it is, the other classes, I'm actually learning what I want to learn, and then in this class, it's like, okay, I'm learning something that it's good to know, but it's something I could probably figure out Google. Like I could just Google something like how to write a professional email.
Yeah, how to write a professional email.
Except
you find it on Google. You don't need to go to college for it.
We're doing a whole fucking chapter on professional communication. It's like, bro, I could Google how to format a professional email. Google it, go to images, it'll show me. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna format mine like this. Write it, boom, done. Right there, that's how you write a fucking professional email. No, I gotta take a whole fucking class about it? Like, fucking hey.
Fuck this, bro.
And it's like, dude, like I'm not, and if I fail that, then it's like I don't get my credits. And it's like, but again, I have to do it, and it's just something I gotta do, It's something, but college is alright, dude. I mean, fuck, I get to go out to the bars with my buddies, and fuck, I did karaoke for the first time in God knows how long the other night.
Yeah, that's awesome though.
Got to hear people sing karaoke, and I got to meet, like I said, meet new people, and I got to meet new friends. I went to a party at one of the rugby players' house, dude, and we were just having fun, just getting to know each other, chugging beers, fucking A. I mean, dressed up like I don't know if I showed you that video. I dressed up like a fucking crab.
Oh, you did.
That shit that's like, it's it's fun and it's something we're doing, but again, it's something I'm never gonna forget. Even something as little as that. Dressing up,
and you're never gonna get it back either.
Exactly.
Like you're not gonna ever get that moment back.
Just never. Dressing up like a fucking crab and chugging a beer is like, again, it's not like a huge pivotal point in my life, but I'm never gonna forget it. I'm never gonna forget the nights. Well, I mean, I'm gonna forget past a certain point. I still don't remember what happens at the bar, but I'm never gonna forget those nights. That we go to the bar and we play beer die together. I fucking love that game. Play beer die at the bar, meet new people, play pool. I met some fucking dude from Hawaii. He's like my dad's age, and I met him. I'm meeting people from all over the world that come through Butte just for like different jobs. Because again, Butte's like, it's not huge, but a lot of people come through. I met a guy from Hawaii who was coming through because he had a job in Butte, and me and him had like really nice long conversations. I saw him again another night, played pool again. Drinking with him, whatever. Yeah. Like I'm meeting solid.
Build friendships and relationships.
Yeah. And it's like college is cool. Again, would I rather be here?
Certainly.
Yeah. So I would much rather be here fighting fire. But I'm building relationships, meeting new people, making friends. Learning shit in school. Like I mean, I'm actually applying myself and expanding my knowledge as far as like business and shit goes.
College would really suck, I have to say, if I had to pay for it. And like I have to say, if I had to pay for it, like college would suck balls. Like if I could get some sort of fucking scholarship to go do something, I would totally do it.
Yeah.
But that, or even if fucking student loans didn't take so fucking long to pay off, then, you know, it'd be kind of a worthy investment. But all in all, it just kind of the thought of it kind of fucking scares me. Like, if I was to ever go do something like that.
Again, school is not for everyone, in all honesty.
And I fucking hated school, so I don't think, like, I don't know, like a trade school, that'd probably be more down my alley. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm fucking staying at CT for the rest of my life, probably.
Well, fuck,
but
yeah. Trade school would be cool. I mean, granted, again, CT though, you learn a lot of shit. Like, fuck, I taught a couple people how to weld this. Granted, I'm not the best fucking welder in the world, but I taught 2 people how to weld.
That's some of the coolest shit too. Is like everything that, like, Chase talked about that the other day. Is all of the shit that everyone got to learn. Like, you got to help other people learn how to weld. We got to help other people learn how to use a chainsaw and clean a chainsaw and sharpen a chainsaw and like just all of the weird different little shit. Run equipment, for example. All the weird different shit that we've got to learn at CT that you wouldn't really learn it anywhere else.
Exactly. Well, fucking A, granted, yeah, I taught people how to weld, but at the same time, I had never ran a gas chainsaw in my whole life. And I barely ever ran an electric chainsaw. And so, you know, I got literally in one fucking day, I learned how to take apart a chainsaw, clean a chainsaw,
and run a chainsaw.
Sharpen a chain, run a chainsaw the proper way. You know, I learned all this shit in less than a day, even.
Yeah, it was like 5 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah, it was the second half. It was the second half of the day. We got done with lunch. We had nothing to do there. You guys want to learn how to, you know, work on a saw? And I'm like, fuck yeah. Working on it, you know, I learned all that in a day, and right before I left, I got to run that big ass front end loader at the culvert yard.
Oh, really? You got to run that? I fucking love that thing.
That
it's so fucking fun.
Shit.
The fucking I love the what the fuck is that called? Like it pivots.
Yeah,
you know, I can't think.
I don't know.
I can't remember. Like there's a fucking name for it.
Yeah, Chase told me it, but I forgot. But yeah, dude, I mean, fuck, I gotta learn that shit. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I'd never in my whole life dreamed that I would ever be running
pieces of equipment, big, large equipment.
That's a big ass piece of equipment, and I ran that, and I never thought I'd learn how to run it, you know, properly. At least take apart a chainsaw into like the different, you know, mixing gas. I'd never had to mix gas in my life. We always ran. You know, the only thing that we would have to mix gas for would be dirt bikes, but then again, we never ran 2-strokes.
Mm-hmm.
So I never had to mix gas, never had to learn how to do that, never had to learn how to run a saw. You know, growing up in Nevada, like, what the fuck you need a chainsaw for?
Yeah, there's not really any fucking trees out there.
Yeah, you have like, you have people that run wood stoves that go up and they'll go saw some trees down, but we ran pellet stoves. We had 2 pellet stoves and we had a fucking furnace, or like, you know, the house, just the regular heater, and so it was like we never needed to go cut down wood, so I never needed to know how to run a fucking saw. Well, shit, even our bonfires were just fucking brush. Our bonfires were just brush and like sticks from trees, and we're just fucking burning random shit we can find, you know, 2x4s, fucking.
Yep. And around here, a lot of our bonfires are just multiple pallets thrown into a pile.
That's basically what we do too, is pallets. And it's like, I never had to learn how to do that shit, but like, in my whole life, if I would ask myself, even a year ago, will you ever learn how to do the shit that you learned to do this summer? And no, absolutely not. Like, I would have never known the differences between like certain like fire tools even, or like different shit like that.
Like, what the fuck was a combi, man?
No,
I wouldn't have fucking known what you were talking about if you just said, hey, what's a combi, before we went to fire school. There would have been no way at all that I would have known what the fuck that was.
Yeah, like a combi or
like,
a fucking
you're telling me it's partially a shovel and partially a pickaxe. Really? Really? That sounds fake. I'm just saying, that sounds fake. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's learning all that different shit. It's like, fuck, I'll never learn how to do that. And honestly, coming here was total just impulse decision. I'm so happy I did.
I didn't just like out of a whim. You're like, I'm going to fucking CT. My uncle works there.
I just remember I texted Shannon. I was like, I need to get the fuk out of St. George. You know, and my stepmom, for people watching. My stepmom. Text my stepmom, and she's like, call Shane. See if he has a job opening. I was like, a little scared. I was like, fuck, I don't know. I've never had to do really hard work in my whole life, you know. I just sit on. I'm kind of fucking lazy, you know. That's how I felt.
Like the hardest shit I've ever had to do was weed eat, man.
Yeah, exactly. even then, my dad didn't have us doing too much yard work because you know he loved doing his yard work, you know.
Yeah.
So he didn't do a ton. So I was like, fuck, like, oh whatever, I'll call him anyway. I'll see what I can do. And one spot open on the crew. He's like, you gotta do an interview, but we have one spot open. So apply, fill out the application, send it in. We'll get it, whatever. So I did it, whatever, got it done, did the interview, got hired on, and it was perfect. And then I got here and I was super worried, you know. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna fuck up, you know, maybe I'm not.
Nobody's gonna like me.
You know, I'm not I feel like I'm not that hard of a worker, and I was doubting myself, you know, shit like that. And then, you know, I come here and
everybody tells you how hard of a worker you are and how good you're doing.
And then, you know, I have Dylan telling me like, yeah, dude, you know, you're a hard worker. Yeah, at the end of the season, he's like, hard worker. You didn't fuck anything up. You know, I was kind of weird that was our standard for good working this year, was not fucking anything up.
That was the standard. You did not fuck anything up. You're not entirely retarded.
You're not completely fucking disabled. You know, you're fucking yeah. When he said that to me, it was just something that I had never heard in my life, because it's like I had never considered myself a hard worker because I was just lazy. I was lazy. Never considered myself, you know, to be the things that, you know, Dylan, you know, was saying. And same thing with Chase, was you're a hard worker, you know, definitely hire you on back next year. And it was the first job that I remember leaving that I was just like, damn.
They fucking liked me, bro.
Damn, like this was the best, one of the best experiences of my life, you know, because I left, you know, when I left my, you know, job at Walmart when I worked in the city, that was like my first real job. I was like, fuck this place. Left Taco Bell. Fuck this place. You know, kind of went through the jobs, you know, working at Boost Mobile, fucking the boarding school, everywhere. I just was
like, fuck this place.
Every time I left, fuck this place, dude. And then I left this job, and I was just like, oh my fucking God, like, I'm never going to find a job like this again until I come back next year.
Yeah, until you come back next season.
And, which, you know, I will be here, and again, it won't be the same as this season, I feel like not the relationships, because everyone keeps saying everything's going to change. I don't believe that.
We will make it the fucking same, like, no matter what. Like, Tristan's like, oh yeah, we don't normally have crews like this. Like, I don't fucking care if we normally have crews that are this fucking cool. Like, you weed out the ones that don't fucking work. Like Corey's. You know, I'm not friends with either of them on Facebook. I'm like, we weeded out the Corey's real quick, and then fucking slowly but surely you just like get rid of the rest of them that don't fucking.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, again, we did weed out one that was sad.
I was so sad, bro.
Unfortunate.
I was so sad.
Very
You're talking about Andrew, aren't you?
Very
that fucking broke my heart, man.
I was so upset when I found out they fired him. And it was very sad because, again, we had so many mishaps this year. And
Chase says that he didn't take, like, so Jacob said when they got back, he's like, Andrew took a bullet for someone else. And Chase is like, who the fuck did he take a bullet for? Like, he's like, who actually wrecked it? And, like, it was like one of those moments where Jacob's like, no, but like it was him who did it. But what I'm saying is if other people would have gotten fired due to that, then Andrew wouldn't have been fired. Like, due to other circumstances, Andrew probably would have kept his job.
Exactly, because
if they would have just cracked down on fucking Corey the first time that he fucking backed into the fucking thing, you know.
Then I would have got fucking hit with the fucking...
Yeah, or that. You almost died. You almost died.
Yeah, if I didn't have that fucker welded on, I wouldn't have died, but that fucking thing would have hurt. But no, I mean...
Dude, if it would have fell on your thigh, broke your thigh, you probably would have bled out and died.
I could have, yes.
You could have bled out and died. That's what I'm meaning.
Yeah, no, that was... Again, but if he would have been weeded out the first time, that would have never happened. We would have avoided that accident.
You would have avoided the accident. You wouldn't have almost died.
And I feel like, in my opinion, I know that a lot of this, you know, maybe doesn't have anything to do. I feel like if Corey would have been fired, again, not anything against CT, because CT handled the situation the very best that they could.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have wanted Simeon fired for hitting the fucking porch either.
And in hindsight, yes, I feel like they probably look back like we should have fired him the first time. But I'm saying if that would have happened, I feel like he wouldn't. That wouldn't have happened. But I also feel like everyone would have been a lot more careful, like Nick with the chaser. I feel like he would have been a lot more careful if he saw Corey get fired right away.
Oh yeah,
I think that it would have been much more careful as far as that shit went.
And like Nick had no idea how a vehicle handles on gravel.
Exactly.
Let alone, I have no idea really how those smoke chasers handle on gravel. I know how my personal vehicle handles on gravel when I'm trying to like drift around a corner, but something like that, like I don't know how it fucking handles when you're doing 40 miles an hour and all of a sudden you have to make an abrupt turn and you can't fucking see the road.
Exactly. That's not, because again, it all comes down to personal experience. That gravel was thick. It was thick. He thought he could, stay caught up with us, whatever. He's never, I mean, as far as I know, like driving behind somebody in the dust, shit like that, like it's not.
Yeah, you fucking keep a distance. And like, that's the fucked up thing is I literally just told him, back up a little bit, like just lay out of the smoke a little, or the dust a little bit. And he's like, okay, and like it's like within like, couldn't have been more than like a minute or 2 minutes. Like it literally could not have been more than 2 minutes after me saying that. And like we were cruising, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have my seatbelt on at first, but I put my seatbelt on, and then like 5 minutes later we got in that accident. So it was like, I'm so happy I put my seatbelt on.
And this was and he still had backed up, and you guys were still getting dusted.
Yes.
What you're saying. So yeah, as far as I know, growing up where he grew up,
Shane was surprised. Like that was one of the things when me and Shane were rolling out following Jeremy. Shane is like, is this how it was when you guys like went in? I was like, yeah. He's like, oh damn, I guess I see how it happened, but he's like, I think that's one of the only reasons because when Shane first got there, he's like, it don't matter, that kid's fucking fired. That was what he said. He's like that kid, if it was up to me right now, he's fired. But, yeah. I think Shane might have, like, as time went on, like, as we were driving back out of there and seeing how dusty it was, he's like, okay, I'll give the kid the benefit of the doubt. He's already got the ticket, so.
Yeah, because, I mean, in all honesty, growing up where he grew up in California, I'm sure you don't drive behind too many people in the dust. And bottom line is, I'm sure it's something he just hasn't experienced. And again, we weeded that out. If you haven't driven on gravel or you don't have a ton of experience in the area, you aren't driving.
You just aren't driving there.
And so that helped us solve that issue. But then again, it's one of those things that it's like, you just don't know. You don't know how to. You cannot avoid every.
Even like situation. Pinky, like Pinky's she's not exactly comfortable driving on gravel, and she's been around gravel roads, and she's drove around all around up there. She's went out to the North Fork plenty of times.
Well, yeah,
but it's like
she was aware though. She was aware.
Yeah, she is I talked to her about it the other day, and she was like, "Oh no, I'm not exactly all that comfortable driving on gravel roads because like we hit some washboards and we were going kind of fast, and all of a sudden it's like bouncing around, and she's like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "It's okay, like." I know what I'm doing. You don't need to worry. Like, we're okay. We're not going to wreck.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, dude, like, one of the people that I trusted the most, even though everyone talked about how crazy he drove, one of the people I trusted the most driving with was Chase.
Oh, yeah.
He knew
he's fucking crazy when he drives, but still, it's like...
he's a good driver.
He's a good crazy driver.
And he knows a lot about the area, too. Like...
Oh, yeah.
Like he'll be like,
he'll point out like all sorts of different spots that are like, oh, I didn't know that.
You take this road, it leads you all the way back over here, and this and that. Like he knows, and he drives crazy. But I think the reason he drives like that is because he knows what he's doing. He knows that he can push himself to that. Because he'll drive slow when he needs to. He'll know.
He drives comfortable when he wants to, and he drives fast most of the time because he knows he can.
Yeah, I mean. I don't know. I mean, it was just one of those things that it was just a weird season as far as accidents went.
Yeah, that is really odd. Like I straight up heard that like those were like the first accidents that had happened in like
20 years or something.
Yeah,
like
20
that.
years or some shit. It's like, holy shit, really? Like,
would you have me a beer, please?
yes. I was just about to ask you if you wanted a beer, so it works out perfectly.
There you go. Your fucking beer out. Itching for one, but I don't want to interrupt.
I was itching for one.
I was itching for a beer here.
Oh shit.
But yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ.
I know, I had to do the same thing earlier. I was like, what the fuck? It kept, like,
it's wet.
Slipping.
Look like a pussy on camera. No, I mean... But yeah, it's just a weird season as far as accidents. But in all honesty,
But it was a cool fucking season for people.
Great cool season. And I honestly feel like we had a really hard-working crew.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like,
and currently, like, even though all you guys are gone, like, all you guys have went off to do your own things, Chase, when Pinky's not around, will say that we are a badass crew. He's like, we have a pretty solid fucking crew, even though it's only the three of us.
Well, yeah,
because Pinky, yes, granted, she loves to sleep and she loves to eat. Those are like her two things that she's doing when she's not fucking working. So it's like, you know, Pinky's a fucking hard worker for a fucking 30-year-old woman. I'm just saying, coming into this first season.
Yeah, and she works her ass off.
She works her ass off, and she's a badass,
very
bro.
ambitious.
She's a badass.
Very ambitious and very willing to learn. And that's pretty rare, because I remember when I first got there, I was very, just like I was kind of nervous about how everyone was and how everyone acted, you know, and there was a lot of shit that knowing what I know now, I would have asked a lot more questions the first week.
Oh yeah, me too.
Granted, I learned a lot still, but I would have asked more questions knowing what I know now. Because I just remember I was just quiet because I didn't want to sound like an idiot. Well, fuck. And then as far as the season went on, shit, I heard people that have been in it not been in it for a while, but I heard people like Jacob or even Chase, like people who
are second seasoners. Well, you know,
I heard them ask stupid questions too. Not stupid questions, but questions that were pretty like self-explanatory. And so it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, I just need to start asking questions before I fuck something up, you know. And again, sometimes I would just ask stupid, you know, there'd be stupid questions, you know, to Chase. If I ask like Dylan or something, like, you know, he wouldn't make me feel dumb for it. I don't think. Maybe now that I know Dylan a little more, but he wouldn't have at the time. But like, you know, knowing Chase, you know, Chase makes you feel you fucking idiot.
Fucking idiot.
This is what you gotta do, you fucking dumbass. But like, no, again, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't be so nervous asking those. Even asking
those hard questions.
You know the questions that you're just like, I don't know if it's a stupid one or not. Like,
yeah, it's like, is it debatable? Is this a dumb question or is it something that's actually valid?
Yeah, and again, like I said, you know, next season, like now it's like I don't give a shit as long as I'm fucked up. I'd rather look like an idiot and get something done right than do something wrong and then still look like an idiot, but a bigger one.
Either way, it's like. Yeah. Double-edged sword. Do I look like an idiot doing it right, or do I look like an idiot doing it wrong?
Yeah, it's like I'd rather. Yeah, like I said, now knowing what I know now, and plus on top of that, like there's certain shit like running equipment that I just wasn't jumping on in the beginning because I was like, I don't know, I don't want to be.
Yeah.
But now,
I mean, I know how to run the equipment, but I still definitely don't jump on that shit.
But now it's like fuck. I mean, I would love to learn how to run some of that. Like the Terrex, I do know how to run the Terrex. I didn't do it by choice a lot of the times though. Like I know how to run it though, and like, but I wouldn't do it just because like it's, again, if we're doing it for something very important, I'm not gonna run the fucking Terrex. Like as far as the culvert yard goes, like when I was running the front end loader, you fuck something up, just pick the culvert back up and move it. You know, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
But on camp, you know, when we were moving those fucking, you know, the culvert racks, that was a little different for me because I was like, all right, you know, they're asking, you know, because at one point she was like, hey, can you pick that culvert rack up and move it over there? Well, fucking no, because if I hit something with it, you know, that's a little different than just putting a culvert in the wrong spot. You know, I gotta fuck with it, and so like there's certain situations where I would run equipment if I felt comfortable doing it, like the front end loader, like I said. Granted, you know, I wasn't the smoothest because I'd never done it before, but it still worked out. You know, dropped them where they needed to be. I fucking pretty sure I dented one of the culverts, but pretty sure I fucking just put the forks right to the side of it.
Honestly, that doesn't really matter if it's dented. Then they're just gonna fucking put the dented side on the top.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I don't understand why Chase was so fucking worried about dent and culverts.
He was. When I dented it, he just laughed. I don't think he was worried. I think he was worried maybe in the beginning, but when I did it, he just laughed. He's like, you fucking idiot. You know,
at the beginning of the season, he always seemed like he was like really worried about dent and the culverts. It's like, dude, just jam those fucking forks directly in the center. And he's like, well, you're gonna fucking dent it. I'm like, dude, if I dent it, they're gonna take that fucking culvert and they're gonna take the dent and put that on the top so that the fucking water passes through it.
Exactly. As long as you just want a fucking hole in it, it's gonna fucking carry water. It's gonna carry water no matter what, as long as you don't like mangle it. And so, I don't know.
That's all it needs to do. Carry water from one side of the road to the other side of the road.
I mean, like I said though, he didn't get mad at me. He just, in his high pitched voice, he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" How he gets all high pitched, but like he didn't care. It was funny, and Riley and fucking Pinky are just laughing at me or whatever. But I got the job done.
I fucking love that motherfucker.
Whoa.
Chase.
Oh, I was like, which one? I mentioned 3,
No,
but yes,
Chase.
I do love Chase.
Fucking goofy ass motherfucker.
Well, shit, that was the first time I ever had a one-on-one with Chase was fishing. We got fishing, and me and him were walking. Well, the first time we couldn't walk the fucking creek because I thought we were going to Deer Creek, but we ended up going to Orofino Creek, and we were gonna walk it, but I didn't have my Crocs and I didn't have my shorts, so we ended up just walking along the trestles, finding a little open spot, fishing there for a minute. He would walk, but I couldn't, obviously. There was one point I did have to get in the water. I fucking got my lure stuck, and I was like, I'm not losing a fucking lure, Or actually, no, it wasn't a lure. I just got my hook stuck, and I didn't want to cut my line. But it was like so stuck, I couldn't get it fucking out. So I had to go crawl in and get it underneath and all that shit. But like, that was the only time I had to get in. But no, that was the first time I had a one-on-one with Chase. And like, up to that point, I knew him because I worked with him, but I knew him in a group setting. When I got to know him like personally, though, like when we were fishing, I was like, dude, he literally does not like he is like such a solid fucking like person to like talk to. He, first of all, he's always
he tells you how it is.
Yeah, he tells you how it is, for one. For two, he's funny as shit. And for three, like he's totally just like how do I explain it? Like he's very talkative.
Yeah.
You talk.
That was one of the things I was kind of worried about with him at first, is that he's like, I was like, oh no, we got a fucking jabbermouth. I was like, our crew boss is a fucking jabbermouth, before any of you guys showed up. But then I got to know him a little bit, and I'm like, I fucking love this dude. He's a fucking real dude.
Exactly, and I don't know. I enjoyed that when we were fishing. It wasn't awkward. He was talkative. He was funny about it. And shit, the second time, obviously, kind of, but we ended up getting a walk this time because I wore my Crocs and wore my shorts, and fucking I keep falling and shit, and I'm just fucking, what the fuck? And I got my phone on me for some dumbass reason. I should have left it in the truck, and I'm trying not to get my phone in there, and he's falling, but no, he taught me a lot about like different shit. Because again, I grew up in Nevada. I don't know a ton about creek fishing. I don't know a ton about the area, and so like being with him, it's funny, hanging out with him. He's a good dude, but also like I learn about the area a little bit. I learn about different kind of fishing in that area, and it's just like it's good to know because I don't know, he's a solid dude. I appreciate him. Yeah, he's a good dude. I do enjoy hanging out with him. I enjoy everybody really on the crew. Mostly everybody. I enjoyed mostly everybody.
Mostly everybody. We will keep names out of this.
Yeah, we'll keep names out of it.
And genders.
Yeah. I enjoyed mostly everyone on the crew, but yeah, no, I mean, it was a solid experience, and people that I'll probably talk to for the rest of my life. Like obviously, like certain people, I'm sure I won't keep in contact with. Like just to name, like I love Andrew to death. I would die for fucking Andrew.
Yeah.
But he's one that it's like...
It's going to be hard. Like, I want to keep in contact with Andrew really bad, but I feel like it's going to be really hard to try to keep in contact with him. Like, at some point I would like to I totally would go on, like, fucking hike into Mountain Lake, and go fishing with him.
Well, yeah, because that's one thing I would go... If I was, like, ever, like, hey, Andrew, like, I'm here, let's go do something fun, whatever, have him take me, do whatever, like, I would. But he's one that it's like... I feel like one of the best things about him is he's almost like a man of just very, very few words.
Yeah, he was full of one-liners.
And so I feel like I wouldn't ever talk to him every day. But he's one that I would like, if I was ever like in the area that he was at currently, I'd be like, dude, let's go do something, have fun, go beat my ass in a fucking workout or something. Like,
yeah, beat my ass in a workout.
We can go hike and then I'll meet you there 30 minutes after you arrive. Like, shit like that. And like, same thing with like, I'm trying to think of who else. Like Pinky. I won't probably stay in contact like that well with Pinky. I mean, we have the group chat, whatever. I'll still talk to her, whatever. But there's just certain people that it's like, I know will be my friends for a long time, but I'm not gonna, it's just, and that's one thing that it's like, I wish that's the way it was, but there's just certain people I spent less time with. Certain people.
I think I surprised Pinky this last week because we were talking, and I said from one friend to another to her, and she says, "You're my friend." I was like, "Yeah, I consider myself your fucking friend." She's like, "Well, oh, well, okay." Like, it surprised her that I called her my friend. Like, I was just giving her some advice, like, and I don't understand that. Like, how can you be surprised that I'm calling you my friend?
Mm-hmm.
Just, like, why are you acting so surprised about it? You are my friend. We are coworkers, yes, but you are my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't just tell you, like, I don't know, I feel like I can't give certain advice if I'm not going to consider myself your friend. And you wouldn't ask me that question unless I was your friend.
Exactly, and it's just like, I love Pinky to death.
She's fucking awesome.
And I love everyone here that was here to death. And again, like I said, there's certain people that I just won't be as good of friends with, but I'm still friends with everybody that was here. That's the one thing that's different from any other experience in my life. Like playing football. When I was on the field, those guys were my brothers. I knew they had my back. But again, I had certain people that were my friends more than others, and I wasn't even friends with some of those dudes. Like, I didn't even respect half of them. Well, not half of them, but like a lot of them I didn't even respect as people. And so like, there was a lot, you're out there, putting your life on the line for these people on the football field, but then you get done and you don't even know them that well because you're just like, you don't want to associate yourself with them. But with you guys, we are literally putting our lives on the line.
Yeah, literally risking our lives for each other all the time at any given time.
Exactly, and we're always doing that. But the difference is, like, we all know each other. We all know how we work. We all know, like, we all would, like, love and, like, would die for each other. But there's, like, and see, that's what makes the difference between a real team. Because, again, it was high school football. It's whatever. We aren't going to the fucking NFL, we were 1A. Yeah. So I'm not, but what I mean is, like, when we worked, we were a real team, and we hardly ever really got mad at each other. Like,
yeah, and there's not as many hazards in playing football as there is in fighting wildland fire. So like, there's fire, there's snags, there's human error, widowmakers,
everything. And so like, granted, but the analogy really is like, going into it, I know that we are going to be more cohesive doing this rather than in high school. When we'd sit and, the guy behind me who I don't like, or I don't know, or that I don't respect, or that I didn't just think is a stupid little lower classman,
Yeah.
And, and something happens to him, I'm not going to give a shit. I'm just going to be like, oh, fuck that kid, And that's just because I was kind of a dick to the lower classmen, and I will be the first to admit, like, whatever. They're all good kids, relatively. But either way, it's just like, being here, it's like, that's the whole difference with our fire crew, and I feel like a lot of other fire crews and like different people in general as a team, is just like, we were so in sync and we all like were ready to just go out and put our lives on the line for each other.
We all had love for each other. So, it's not a matter of like, you're going out there working with these people you don't fucking like.
Yeah, exactly. We're all so cohesive, but it's like, watching some of the other crews work and just watching them just get after each other for a little shit.
Yeah, bickering back and forth.
And just because they're tired, or just because they're in a bad mood because they've been there all day, and it's like, why?
And we bicker back and forth too, but we bicker in a fucking way that's like,
it's like
joking.
Funny, yeah.
It's so funny, like that. Even though you're poking fun at this person, we all can laugh at it. Even the person that's getting the poking.
Well, shit.
Every time. That's the best part to me. Is it's not making fun of. You're just having a good time, enjoying each other's presence, and you can sit back and laugh at yourself as well.
Yeah, and one of the things too this is the first mistake that I really made. It wasn't a big mistake, obviously, but it was the first fire mistake that I had made, just because we'd only been on one fire before. It was the Marys Creek fire. It was right after I didn't go Cold Trail, the first fire, or whatever. we're cold trailing that big ass fire.
Oh, that was Durham, bro. You're talking about when Durham was helping Tristan.
Yeah, but it was
cold trail that one.
Yeah, it was Tristan though who was joking with me. What happened was I remember I was cold trailing. I fucking went right over a smoke. I don't know how it happened. Whatever. It's a mistake. It happens. Tristan's like, God damn it, Zach, there's a fucking smoke right there. And I was like, fuck, thinking I was in trouble, because I was like, fuck, I don't know how this is going to go. Then all you guys are like, God fucking damn, just smiling at me.
Yeah, because we all had to back up. Like, fuck you, Zach, we have to back up now.
It was all in good fun, but like, I heard, I'm not going to say names just in case, I don't know who's going to watch this, but, there's 2 people from another crew. One of the kids fucked up. I remember his crew boss just fucking just lit him up, dude. Just fucking was like bickering at him, and I would have felt like shit if like Tristan or fucking Chase came at me like that.
Oh yeah,
I would have felt like, what the fuck? I don't even want to do this right. Like I fucking hate. Like it was just ripping into him, and I was like, damn, like that is not how you get shit done. I feel like, but then again, it's like
no, like it's not how you have a cohesive group of people, anyways.
But that's how you knew. Like that's that's when I knew right then and there that our crew will always be, again, we might, maybe we don't,
whatever, fuck the rest of the crews, we're the best.
Exactly. I was trying to maybe give them some credit.
Nah, fuck the rest of them, we're the best.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, it's just like I feel like we just worked more efficiently. Everything we just were very, like I said, much more cohesive. It was fun on the job, we were very, fast acting. It was one of those things that we knew what everyone else, we could kind of predict because we knew how everyone was. But the other crews, it was just like, that would be miserable. That would just be miserable, having that separation. And
yeah, having that like distortion between you and between your crew boss and your other crewmates. Like
exactly. It's just, I don't know. For me, this is the kind of year that makes or breaks a company, in any aspect.
Oh yeah.
This is that kind of year. And it's because it's like the turnover for CT is obviously super fucking high. The turnover rate, they get new people every fucking year. But this year, I feel like,
there was a decent amount of people that went that are coming back.
Exactly, I know you're definitely coming back.
Oh, fuck yeah. It's
my
career
Tristan,
for the rest of my
Jacob,
life now.
me,
maybe Riley, maybe Nick.
Possibly, I mean, I'm pretty sure Riley, but it's a possibility. I'm pretty sure it's probable. Probably Riley, maybe Nick.
Maybe Nick.
Maybe Nick. We'll see. Maybe Nick. But then you also have like Simeon. Simeon said he'll be back.
Oh yeah, he said he'll be back. And it saddens me that I do not get to work with Andrew, man. Like I was so looking forward to working with him this fall. And it's like, dude, really? You're like, he's going to be owned by the government for the next few years.
Yeah, he will be, yeah.
Basically.
And so we won't get to see him. But right there, though, that's 7 people returning. And, say, the ones from headquarters go back to headquarters. That'd be me, you, Riley, and like I said, possibly Nick.
Yeah.
Right there. There's 4 in headquarters, 3 at Bowls. That's already more than they had on the cruise from last year.
Yeah, and if the people from Elk River, like if any of them from Elk River return, like I hope that at least, like from what I understand, I believe June's going to return to Elk River. Taya's going to come back. Well, yeah, she's crew boss, but June's going to return. Taya's going to return. Aaron's probably going to come back, and Peyton said he might come back. So it's like, really, you guys might almost have the same exact fucking crew next year, plus a couple.
And Orfino obviously has. Durham.
Ari's not coming back.
He's not.
No, he's going to college right now for fucking or not college. I guess he went to fucking go work at some. From what I understand, anyways, I heard that he went to go work for a structural fire company.
Oh. I'm just kidding.
Fuck structural. Fuck structural. It's garbage.
Yeah, fucking.
I did it for 3 years. It sucks garbage.
Not for me.
Not for me.
No, I mean, they'll have a good turnover in Orfino, but honestly, I don't really give a shit about Orfino.
No, fuck Orfino.
I don't care about
I really
Orfino.
don't care if any of those motherfuckers come back.
I like Durham.
I do like Durham. Durham, I like him, but so many people people talk shit on him, bro.
I don't know why, because I mean,
it's like, I mean, I get it. He's a hot shot, and he thinks he's better than a lot of people.
Makes
but
a lot of calls that literally, he makes more work, honestly, than there needs to be.
Yes.
Like that whole fucking fire where they could have had a dozer line and had him dig instead.
Yeah.
Like, bro, just get the fucking dozer
or having
out.
his guys fucking, having Orfino's crew fucking dry mopping every fucking thing when we were on Mary's Creek.
They're drunk. 7 acres of fire.
We have water, bro. Use it.
They had 3 fucking engines, and they were dry mopping.
Bro. I was running the deuce and a half, bro.
Exactly.
Like, we have water.
We were running a deuce. We were running a deuce. They had their engine. They, fucking Elk River had their engine. And then when they did start using water...
Like, water was 10 minutes away. It's a 10-minute drive down the road to refill.
Exactly.
Why the fuck are you not using water?
Exactly. And then they did start using water, and they were using a fucking water waster. It's like, bro, you guys are going to have to fill up so goddamn much with that.
And then they fucking burned out that spot that we had cold trailed the day before. You remember that? Like, we mopped it up. And then we went through and cold trailed at the top part. We went through and did that. And then they burned the center out because it wasn't fucking burned out. They went through and burned it out. So we had to go through and cold trail that shit again finding hot spots.
That shit pissed me off. I was like, what the fuck? We already went through it.
What the fuck? We already finished this.
No, and then they're just like, oh, you know what we should do to fuck these guys over? Let's start another fire.
And let's not only that, but let's make them sit down there for the next 3.5 hours while we're fucking, or it was I think it was 2.5 hours that we were fucking, like, we sat and waited for like an hour, and then Chris is like, hey, guys, you should just skip that part that you can't do and go finish the rest of it. So we did that. It was like, basically, it was like 2.5 hours that they were up there doing that, when they should have been down where we were.
Cutting saw
line, bro. Like,
yeah, that shit.
I'm just saying, like, those are the things that make me not really care for Durham. I like him, he's a nice guy, but I've also heard that he's not a nice guy, but from what I've met, he's a nice guy. I like him. Yeah. But he's used to things that are not CT.
Yeah.
We have water. We use water. That is what CT does. It's initial attack. Fucking just do it. Get it out.
And that's fine. I mean, that's all. Whatever. I mean, he's the crew boss. They gotta listen to him. Whatever. I mean, again, though, I have no ill will towards anybody personally in the company, but for some reason, I don't know why, I just don't fucking like Orfino. I like the people on the crew, like everyone that I met from Orfino, they were all they were all pretty cool for the most part. Like, I liked Chris, and then
Chris and Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan was his name. I liked everyone on, but fucking hey, I just, for some reason, fuck Orfino, man. I don't know. I guess it's just something that.
Fuck Ari.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
I kind of like Ari too. Right.
His fucking super white teeth. Fuck that motherfucker. I hate him just because of his white ass teeth.
Alright, okay.
No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm not serious.
I was fucking say, I was like, alright, Sam.
Not!
Fucking A. No, but yeah, it'll be good. We'll have a good turnover rate next year.
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully we can get some more fucking people out here too.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be nice to have some more people out here. And honestly, I'm just hoping that if we do get more people, they're social. Because I don't want people going back to
social butterflies.
I don't want people
bro.
going back to their fucking rooms.
And just like, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna go hang out by myself.
At 4:00, there's alright, I'm going back. Like, what made CT so fun was, playing pool, the fires, it's a dry camp, they're drinking sodas with each other,
It's a dry camp, we're drinking soda.
Sitting by the fire and just hanging out and getting to know each other was the best part about everything, and going out fishing, hunting, whatever. But it's like, I'm worried that, when we do get new people, they're just not going to be like that. And that's it's whatever. It's no sweat off my back if they don't. It's like, I'll have people that I know around in the area, and I'm whatever. And if that's what they prefer to do, then fuck it. It's totally their preference. But I really just hope that we get people who are willing to put themselves out there. Because we saw we saw Simeon. Love that fucking kid. Love that.
Oh,
kid.
he's such a fucking good kid, dude.
So much from the first day that he got there.
Oh yeah.
To like even like the next couple.
He
weeks.
seemed like a child when he first came in.
Very skittish and like
very like he just seemed like he was not interested in most things that you wanted to do or most things you wanted to talk about. And then before you know it, he was just like, it was like a light went off in his fucking head and he's just like a social butterfly.
Exactly. And
it was nice.
Like, kind of reminded me, again, that's why we call him Bambi, because, he reminded me of a little baby deer, just trying to, kind of coming in, like shaking, trying to, struggling to, but then, dude, he was just he just was one of the fucking, he was just solid, dude, you could always have a good conversation with him, he was always listening,
oh, yeah.
He was always an amazing, and he just grew so much, and I feel like everybody did.
I loved watching Borat with him. That was a fucking good time.
I wish I would have been there.
Me, him, and Tristan, and Rowan, and Andrew. It was a good time.
Me, Nick, Jacob, and Riley had a good time back at camp.
Yeah.
When you guys were out fighting fire, we had a good time back at camp. We went fishing on the North Fork, and we went, we went fishing on the North Fork, and what else did we do? We went fishing at Deer Creek. I don't know if you saw that video of all of us at North.
Oh yeah, I did.
At the Deer Creek and tripping over the fucking.
Yes, the one where you ended up fucking laying on. Or Nick ended up laid out fucking in front of the chain.
Nick ended up on his fucking back because he
tripped
over the chain.
That looked painful.
It was funnier than shit. It was so slow. It was like slow motion. He just was walking. We're taking a video, and all of a sudden
he's going
he
over.
He fucking hits the chain, dude, and it was like slow. He just kind of like leaned over it, and then just like. Ended up on his back somehow, and I was like, the actual fuck, man. No, it was a good time, though, just fishing and hunting and fucking, well, I can't say hunting, I guess we just went hunting this last weekend, but still, we were fishing, we're, hanging out, and, had a couple drinks, whatever, it was a lot of fun. I felt like I got to know Nick a lot more that week, because I knew Jacob pretty well.
Yeah.
Got to know Nick a lot better, because, again, me and Nick hadn't had a ton of time one-on-one. I mean, obviously, I enjoy hanging out with Riley. I mean, that's a given.
Yeah.
But, it's just like, it was a fun time, but I did miss you guys. And then as soon as you guys got back.
I missed the fuck out of you, dude. I missed the fuck out of beer.
Yeah, I know, you guys.
I just wanted beer, man. The whole time I was gone, every night I'd get off work and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go lay in the bunkhouse for a couple of hours.
No beer, going to bed sober for 11 days straight. Yeah, you guys got back and then got another call, dude. Another one.
I know, we were back for what, like 4 days? 5 days?
Got another call out there. Thank goodness, though. I mean, because, fuck, they left me and you. Because if I would have been stuck with anybody but you, like, you, Jacob, or Tristan, I think I would have been pretty fucking miserable. I think I would have been like, God damn it.
Yep.
No, not trying to knock on anyone else in the crew, because I loved everybody. But one-on-one, I just feel like I don't get along. Like, not get along, but I feel like I just don't gel with some people as well as you, Jacob, and Tristan.
Yeah, me, you, and Jacob and Tristan, we are fucking.
We all are
very
on the
close.
Same wavelength. I feel like most of the time.
Yep. We are, same wavelength. That's a good way to fucking put it. Like we're all on the same page in life, and it's nice.
And it's good to fucking have that. Because again, I love the fuck out of Nick. Nick was funnier and shit. But one-on-one, I feel like me and him just didn't quite have the same. Which I say that, but like there's certain times.
You guys probably had good conversations.
Like we did have some good conversations one-on-one, like or like when we'd sit at home when it was just me and him on the weekends. Me and him would play, NHL on his Xbox. Me and him had so much fun doing that. We bonded over that specifically, or like just different shit. Me and him did have some. That was towards the end. That was before kind of, or that was after kind of everything had already happened. I was thinking at the time that me and him couldn't have, and so that was. But we did end up having some really good one-on-one time, But again, it's still like me and him are on a little bit of a different track as far as things go, and same thing with like everyone else. Like I can have really good group conversations with people, but one-on-one, it's mostly you, Jacob, Tristan. I mean, that's the people that I like really. Yeah. That's the people I gel with, man.
You're brothers in arms, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Fuck, that's some good bourbon.
It's really good bourbon. I fucking love Buffalo Trace. It's delicious.
Really fucking good. The older I get, man, the more like flavorful I feel like
whiskey alcohol. And bourbon gets.
Oh fuck, I have that Jameson out there, and I just remember in high school, first time I ever drank Jameson, it just tasted like any other fucking alcohol to me.
Yeah, like, ew, this tastes like fucking rubbing alcohol.
Just fucking burn in my mouth. And then, like, you know, I started drinking it at the bars and Butte and whatever, and drinking it here last night. Every single alcohol just has a different taste now. That the older I get, everything just has a different flavor. Like Jack Daniels and fucking, you know, Jameson. They're both whiskey. Again, two different types of whiskey, but they're both whiskey. Or actually, let's do a better comparison. Like Jim Beam and Jack Daniels, kind of the same. You know, they're both whiskey. In high school, they tasted the same.
Maybe same exact.
But now that I'm older, I can totally taste the difference between something like Jim Beam and Jack Daniels, or even Jameson, or, you know, fucking Tullamore Dew, all that kind of shit. Like, I can taste the difference between each one. Even though it's very slight, I can still taste it. And it's so weird to me that just the older I get, just the more, like, I get to, you know, and I mean, I guess the more I get together with you guys, it doesn't really matter how it tastes, because I just fucking drink to get drunk.
Have a good time.
I just drink to get drunk, but
they'll have the good
when
time.
I'm sitting here chilling, like, fuck, I mean, like, I like enjoying, you know, like this, you know, fuck, I can't say I've ever, I have had High Life with you, but even then, it's like, it's a good beer. Like, I want to, as much as I love Keystone, I usually drink Keystone just to get fucked.
Yeah, you just, well, like, I drink Keystone because you can drink more of them and get fucked up slower.
Exactly.
Like, I like the taste of beer, so I don't necessarily like to get drunk, but I like to drink. Exactly. So it's like, that's one of the reasons I drink Keystone. Like, I could drink an IPA all the time, but those things get you fucked up quick.
Fuck. Fuck, dude. Oh, God, dude, IPAs, that's another thing. Hated them in high school. Fucking hated them. Tasted so gross. But now, like last night, when we were drinking those IPAs, I could have drank those all goddamn night.
God damn, I was so hungover this morning. I was so happy we went and had a burger, man. I needed that.
Yeah, I woke up today and I was feeling pretty deathly. I was like, I didn't feel terrible, but I just remember how tired I felt. And like, I just was like, oh my god damn. And I just did not want to wake up.
Yeah.
Whatsoever. Jesus, I was fucking out of it. And last night, I was pretty fucked up. Dude, my phone is fucking going crazy right now. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ. You want to call it a day, Zachary?
I mean,
we can. I think it's like we're marking around 2 hours, bro.
No, it's up to you, man. I mean, I'm having a good time just chilling here. My phone is just blowing up. I have my group chat for my family.
I am too.
All blowing me up for fantasy football. Got the draft tomorrow.
Holy shit! It actually, it's almost 1600.
What time do we start?
I'm not sure. We definitely started around like 1:50ish. So it's like I was saying, we've marked around the 2 hour mark.
Fuck. Oh yeah, I guess we can if you want. I mean, I'm having fun though. I honestly, I feel like we've only been here for like 30 minutes.
I know. It doesn't feel like very long.
No, yeah.
We'll fucking call it and fucking hang out for a little while longer.
All right, sounds good, man.
That was a good fucking podcast, brother.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate having you on.
Oh yeah, this was awesome. This was awesome for me.